It's award season, y'all. Now, I think last time I might have made fun of the Grammys or the Golden Globes for a while before we started, but seeing how quick an hour-long episode can turn into a 3-hour-long episode, I'm just going to say that we try and jump faster into it this go-around. For those who may not have tuned in during the 2019 holiday month with us, I am talking about the Game Awards, also known as the Keighleys by some, in reference to their host and producer, Geoff Keighley. It is an annual ceremony celebrating the year in gaming in which nominees and later winners are chosen for various categories, some technical, some artistic, some genre stuff. It was first established officially in 2014 and continues today to be quite the event. There are often major appearances from folks in and outside the industry, musical performances, premieres of brand new projects. Remember, the Series X was revealed at this. The part where things like that are shown are typically the most important reason so many turn it on. That and feel validated for their opinions or get real mad when they aren't. But it's always an enjoyable night regardless, and just to add a bit more chaos into the mix, we like to play a little game here on our podcast show for you guys where we will run through all the awards and what is nominated in them, of course, and each select our personal choices of what we would want to see win, as well as who we bet will win. Then, after everything airs on December 9th, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, we'll come back and tally up the results with glory for whoever has the most correct guesses and humiliation for, to whoever has the least. Okay, so let's see who makes it out on top. This is Hot Button. I'm Randall Beatrice, here with Austin Blakesley.
Hello.
And Sean Chambers.
Returnal was snubbed for Game of the Year.
Remember that release dates are a factor here. Games like Halo Infinite, unfortunately, not making the cutoff, while 2020's Cyberpunk has 2020's Cyberpunk 2077 has found its way back into this year's running, similar to what happened with Smash Ultimate in 2018, where it heroically returned for a gaudy nod. Always a chance Halo could do the same. Battlefield and Pokemon BDSP were admitted here as well. Also, today's...
Don't like BDSP.
Yeah.
Sounds too much like BDSM.
Mm-hmm. Today's ep will not be a full breakdown or discussion of any of these titles. We will be saving that for our personal deliberations coming after around Christmas.
Yeah.
Thus, there will be no spoilers right now. Next month, however, there will be. So be prepared. Anyway, let's get into it. We have a whopping 30 categories to place our bids, minus a couple of the eSports ones that I don't believe three of us have much of a stake in. As I've said before, the winners will be announced on the 9th. It is by a panel of judges from multiple press outlets, but also includes input from those developing in the field, along with everyday followers like you or me. It's kind of cool. So without further ado, got my fancy wine. Time to get the ball rolling. I am saving the two biggest awards for last, by the way, same as the Oscars. But first up, we have a hell of a kickoff. Best Narrative, or for understanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. The first games are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange True Colors, Marvel's The Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2.
So, It Takes Two does not deserve to be on here.
Yes.
This is a recent...
It deserves to be on... it absolutely, in other categories. But,
oh, yeah.
But...
The book sucks.
Yeah. And it seems pretty problematic.
Yeah.
As well.
I
was surprised to see that game here, too. Especially with the omission of something like a Forgotten City.
I was going to say I would put Forgotten City in its place. I think the narrative in that game deserves at least a nomination.
For sure.
Yeah.
In fact, no, I don't think I would give it to Forgotten City. I'm torn, personally.
I mean, you're probably torn between the same two that I am.
Between Life is Strange and Psychonauts 2?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That would make three of us.
Okay. From a narrative perspective, personally, I'm going to have to give it to Life is Strange. Because that's all that game is.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a narrative. If we're including, because they have best performance, but if we're including character writing, dialogue into narrative, absolutely Life is Strange.
Yeah.
Although Psychonauts is very funny narratively, it's like a Pixar movie that goes way more in depth, and we'll talk about that a lot later in our game of the year. But like, I think
it's a Pixar movie where it's all satire, like bigger topics being talked about. That's the entire thing.
Yes. So I'm gonna go personal. Yeah, personal and prediction is Life is Strange.
I'm gonna agree with that. Though it's funny. I don't think True Colors storyline is perfect. I think it's
no.
I think the character drama is what makes it so, like, it excel it so much. I think it's some of the best character work they've done, but the central through line mystery, I think I find like Psychonauts 2's world more intriguing, and it also very thoughtfully walks a fine line between approaching pretty heavy topics but still making them whimsical and accessible to like a wider audience, and that's incredibly difficult to do. Maybe as much as, if not more so, than comedy in games. But I think there was just too much of like moment to moment stuff in True Colors that stuck with me. Like, more, that makes it kind of, more like just undeniable. But I have not gotten to start Guardians yet. From what I hear, that's like more of a surprise factor.
The funny thing is, I think it really captures the narrative pull of a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
In ways that most games don't. But I actually think, and I know you didn't play this, Randy, you probably did. I actually think that Miles Morales excels in its narrative even more than a Marvel movie does.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. So I would say, like, I don't even think this is the best narrative in a Marvel game, let alone the best narrative this year. So
yeah.
But it's good.
Yeah.
So
don't get me wrong.
You both
good.
finished Deathloop as well. I was around 10 hours in. There wasn't a whole lot of story that's very front loaded by design in that game, and I like the dynamic between the two characters. But do you feel, having seen it play out the way it does, that it earns its spot here?
I think nobody's coming to Deathloop for narrative.
Yeah.
I think that
fair enough.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Talk about it Game of the Year, but I think that.
And It Takes Two is an amazing game despite its narrative.
Yeah. I think the setup of the world in Deathloop is
like the environmental storytelling.
The environmental storytelling and the overall concept.
Yeah.
Is great. I think that the narrative is
it's very nihilistic.
very in service of the gameplay.
Yeah.
And not much more. I definitely wouldn't give it narrative over Psychonauts or Life is Strange. And I don't think other people will either.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Sean?
Well, I mean, geez, guys, you didn't really leave a lot for me to talk about. Kind of hit all the bullet points that I would go over myself. Same thing as far as it coming down to Life is Strange and Psychonauts, and for the same reasons that you guys already mentioned. So, it's. I don't mean to make three.
Hey, no,
but I definitely think Life is Strange was like a heavy front runner.
Yeah.
For me, ever since playing it, and I went
into that game with kind of low expectations after 2. And
right.
Tell me why, but.
And part of me wants to defend Psychonauts a bit, but
hey, I'm all ears. So
I'm also.
You don't have to defend Psychonauts to me.
No, it's definitely for the reasons you guys already mentioned. Like I said, I think Life is Strange is going to be my pick.
Okay.
For who wins, and also
bet
personal, yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna change my answer.
All right,
I'm gonna go Psychonauts.
Okay, all right.
For prediction,
we'll make it interesting. Yeah,
to make it interesting.
And shout outs also to.
I'm gonna change my answer too. Deathloop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my prediction. I want Life is Strange to win.
All right. Hey, so typically, like the two strategies in this, you can like vote with your heart or vote against yourself, and The outcomes of that are always amusing. But I was going to say, also missing from this list, I would like to give call to Emily is Away 3 and Dark Pictures House of Ashes. I thought that was the one of like the best story they've told out of the 3 in that line, and also Inscription. But to try and describe the how wonderful and absolutely insane that fucking like plot line is, we would be here all night. So I'm gonna save that for
best indie and best sim strategy.
Oh, for sure. But I just meant for our game of the year. That's when I'm gonna get into. I'm gonna get deep into the gritty. I'm gonna be in a straitjacket by the end.
I'm ready
of that night. So
yeah, we should say last year we did snubs as a way to kind of talk about stuff that we couldn't because they didn't nominate it. But now that we have our own game of the year, we're just going to mention snubs. For more on all those games, check out our personal game of the year stuff.
I got to hold that in, huh?
Yep, you got to hold that in. Yep.
Okay.
Second category might also be my other favorite, Best Art Direction, or for Outstanding Creative and or Technical Achievement in Artistic Design and Animation. We got The Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Sean, what do you think?
I definitely, having played and beaten all of these games, I definitely, to somewhat of a degree, understand why The Artful Escape is on here.
I'd say more in like visual look than animation.
Right. Yeah.
I think I made a quap joke.
Yeah, we've already had that discussion. But
I love the backgrounds and everything. They're beautiful, but
I would probably out of the 5 here, my guess for best art direction is probably gonna be Psychonauts 2.
Okay.
Personally, for the winner, probably where I'm gonna put my vote as well.
That's solid. I'm gonna call out the elephant in the room here. As great as a game as it is, what is Ratchet & Clank doing on this list over something like an Inscription or a fucking Resident Evil Village, which in my opinion might have some of the best art direction I've ever seen in the medium? So like I'm offended by that. Like Ratchet & Clank looks good, it's cute, but I don't know.
I'd have to agree. I don't know what Ratchet & Clank is doing on here.
I've probably
I think it's just a really good-looking game.
It is, yeah. It does look like the cutscenes would give you the presentation that you were watching, like a family film, like from a pretty major studio. So, not trying to ignore that aspect.
Yeah,
but it's not nearly as inventive to me as
art direction. Much like narrative, is an all-encompassing category that they use for a reason, but like, not to knock the art directors at Insomniac, they are brilliant.
Yeah.
Their games look amazing, but yeah, it's just an evolved form of what Ratchet & Clank has always been.
Yeah.
It's the most derivative. Now, like obviously there's a blueprint for Psychonauts, but that is my pick with out of these 5 with a bullet, just because the look of some of every world is so realized. Like you go to that casino hospital, it's wonderful the way that they use everything at their disposal. But I'm actually more cynically going to say my bet is The Artful Escape. I think I do.
Interesting.
Yeah, like there's something about that splash screen and title art that I feel like screams, like. They also like to pedestal indies for for this award, but no, Psychonauts 2 is my favorite. It's so distinct. And what do you think?
I am going to say that my personal pick,
though Kenna looks good too.
Yeah, my personal pick. Again, I'm torn, but it's going to be Psychonauts 2. But I'm going to go with my very, very close second personal pick as my guess. Deathloop.
Yeah.
I think that Deathloop is a phenomenal video game, but I think that kind of the reason it's even on here is because of its trailers and its aesthetic.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
I think they sold it very heavily on that aesthetic, and I think that the game pays that off very well. I think that from the mind of a critic, I think that if you're going to, as much as I disagree I think that if you're going to write off Ratchet and Clank, people would also write off Psychonauts 2 for the same reason.
I don't know.
Because it is derivative of one, even though it's so much better in art direction.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to say, out of these, Deathloop is my guess.
All right. Well, there you have it. And I just wrote it here because we fired this up for the first time a week ago. To everyone out there, that Radiohead, that Kid A Amnesia expedition. That's a fucking crazy looking thing. If you want to have the feeling of like a bad trip with a rockin' soundtrack behind it. But yeah, what you mentioned about the trailer and stuff for Deathloop, like that, I was sold on Inscription seconds after that, like for its aesthetic and everything. So again, it's a bummer that's not on the list for me. Same with Resi, but.
And with Kenna, real quick,
you played through Kenna. So
yeah, so
if there's anything more you wanted to say?
It's a beautiful game. It is absolutely a beautiful game, and what it's capturing through the art and everything like that. If I had to pick a second, I would probably be Kenna for that.
Okay.
I am happy to see it on here though.
Yeah,
because this is their first title, I believe, Ember Lab. I'm not sure if they've worked on anything else because they're also in debut indie.
Yeah, it's their first title.
Yeah, so a game that looks this good from a team for this being their first game is kind of a big achievement to be in, the likes of all these other games, and same with the Artful Escape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
also shout out to Returnal. I think that game has very good aesthetic, very good art direction.
Yeah,
I'm keeping it in.
Next up is I am loving these so far. It's best score and music for outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. Interesting final note there. The nominees are The Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, this is weird, and Near Replicant version whatever. I'm not reading off all those numbers.
You sure? Version 1.224744874139.
Yeah, they know what they're fucking doing. Also, is this just one of two categories that Cyberpunk is?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so my pick is actually going to be Cyberpunk. I think if it's one thing that game does excel at, I mean, I love the artist that they collaborated with for it, like its soundtrack, but it's not utilized as well as I think you would want it to be.
Yeah.
Which is kind of disappointing, but how many other video games can I hear like The Armed in, it's just rad. And it's funny because I guess going back to our last category, it's kind of surprising to not see Cyberpunk in there. I mean, they do art well. I mean, I guess it's maybe there's jank and that soured folks on, but because environment and character design, it's got a very distinct look that I was always into. It's just a shame it didn't carry its weight in other aspects, but. My pick is still going to be Cyber of these. I do think Guardians is a little bit cheating.
That's fair.
There's killer tracks on that, which I know the tape is taken from is kind of an invention of the movies, and from what I hear, it's utilized well the way it kicks up during like it swells and fight scenes and stuff. And I've seen the list of what's included on there, and it is a little obvious. It's kind of exactly what you would expect of a best of the 80s like Spotify playlist. As much as I love, to hear I Ran So Far Away or Bad Reputation, it's well-traveled ground. But my pick is going to be Near Replicant. They did have a live performance, I think, of a song from the why can't I think of the name? The last Nier game, Automata.
Yeah,
performed there. So I think there's a lot of, if you look at who's voting, like a lot of gamers that are big into that style of music, and I don't think it's wildly unrealistic. So that's where I'm hinging my bet.
I'll jump in off of that. Having not played Cyberpunk since like the first couple hours when the game released, let's just
I
say
finished it.
oh, you did?
I did.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so did I.
It has So it is definitely something I want to get back to.
Yeah.
I got to experience it for myself,
Sure,
you know?
Yeah.
I'm probably thinking personally, my personal pick will probably be Marvel.
All right.
Because of how it's used. And I get what you're saying.
It sticks
I get-
out.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's integrated well because it's not just that soundtrack for those who haven't played. There is a lot of interlacing with that, patented Marvel movie music. And I think it's utilized well.
Games don't typically do that these
Right.
days. Yeah, with the rise of streaming, it's hard.
Right. And I think
obtaining licenses.
I think it's interlaced so well
yeah.
that I think that's going to be something that a lot of people walk away from this game with.
Yeah.
For the actual win,
Mm-hmm.
Cyberpunk's got to get something, right?
Yeah.
Cyberpunk.
Right.
I mean, they had a lot of musical performances
Actually, yeah.
at the last Game Awards. So
Grimes.
Yep.
Out of all the bugs the game launched with, I don't think there were any audio
It's a good
ones.
song. Let's try that track.
Was there?
yeah,
I don't know. I didn't play enough.
There was bugs of every kind in that game.
Yeah.
But you're voting for Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm. What you feeling?
I am going to say my personal pick is Deathloop.
All right.
Because I think that they nail
It's kind of like jazzy or something.
that game.
Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
this weird. This bleeds into narrative, and we'll talk about it more in Game of the Year. That's going to come up a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
But that game has this weird ambiguity to what time period it takes place
Yes,
in.
yeah.
Because they're stuck in a time loop. You don't know when the time loop began in our timeline, and you don't know when it finished, and people come onto the island
Yes, yeah.
at different time periods and bring with them stuff from their
so
time period.
That's like represented in the score and stuff
Yes.
as well. I didn't get to run into.
So it has this
evidence of
weird
that,
jazzy 50s, but also
Yes,
like
it's
that
Art Deco, and
but also that 70s Bond type music
yeah, it's
as
spy,
well.
the trailers were super
The spy
fiction,
thriller
Yeah.
kind of music. And it has some issues, but it does do dynamic music.
Oh, cool.
Based,
yeah,
based
it does
on whether
pick
you're
up
stealthing or
yeah.
just shooting people.
Yeah.
There's
and what you're
cues when
doing.
Julie invades you and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it does a lot of cool stuff with audio, so that's my personal pick. I am going to go for Guardians for my vote
All right.
because
I thought you were doubling up there.
that is my close second personally, and I think that I agree with everything Sean said. I think that
My opinion might change when I play that.
I think you're
starting it tonight.
I think you'll realize kind of like
it's not as shallow as just looking at a list would make you. Yeah. All right.
can
That's
definitely-
good. That's good to hear.
I can definitely understand why you would think that going in.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it's going to exceed your expectations.
also
Oh, I'm excited.
something that should be mentioned. There is a fake band, and I don't know if you know who the
I've
band.
heard about this. I don't know who's in it.
There's a
right?
fake band
Yeah.
named Star-Lord,
Yeah.
which is where
Yeah,
he gets
and the something.
which is
sorry.
where he gets his name from.
Is that in the comics?
I don't know.
Okay.
No,
Not much.
I think I talked to Alfred about it, and I
Oh, all right.
don't think so.
It does sound like a band. like
Yeah, and it's very reminiscent of
that era.
Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
Metallica.
I think you.
And as much as I don't like that style of music, they do a very good job replicating it. Whoever
That's cool.
this fake band was actually performed by did a very good job of writing that style of music and making it feel like it fit in the 80s. So
yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to go...
Yeah.
Because that's the score part of it is a full album of songs by a
Right.
fake band named Star-Lord. So,
Thank you for bringing that up, by the
Yeah.
way, because I
That's-
totally forgot to mention
That's all.
that.
I mean, it's like I was shocked not to see True Colors on this list. I mean, granted, I think it excels the most in a very specific musical moment that I'll talk about in a few weeks. But
Yeah.
it's those games have traditionally done a really good job of licensing artists and having like commissioning one exclusively to build the score. That's where you had Daughter and stuff like that. And oh shoot, why can't I? Angus and Julia Stone, I think did I don't remember if they did this one or not. I actually found some of their selection pretty disappointing this go around overall. But normally though it's like you feel like there would be a spot reserved for a title like that. But I'm just glad that no one said Artful Escape because I find that fucking soundtrack irritating. And I'm sorry, that's a very I know that's an unpopular opinion. And I'm not saying I don't like Americana folk and I don't like prog metal, and if you mash them together, it's like
here's the thing. I wouldn't call it prog metal.
It's pretty shreddy.
It's very shreddy.
Sci-fi fantasy metal.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's more like a space opera.
It's very reminiscent. As somebody who plays guitar and grew up idolizing two very important musicians in the guitar space, it is very reminiscent of Joe Satriani and Steve Vai.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And those are both instrumentalists. I mean,
I like instrumental.
Joe Satriani's most famous album has Silver Surfer on the fucking front cover.
Yeah.
And Steve Vai's, he's like a fucking angel demon on all his covers. So like,
I'm not trying to shit on anyone. I mean, this is the most a subjective category.
I get where you're coming from, but
yeah.
like, I feel like as much as I don't really like that music anymore, whoever did that soundtrack
cares,
understands the guitar.
Yeah.
And that like teenage desire to be a shredder, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
I can always be convinced otherwise. Like, I'm not a big into like when Brutal Legend came out, I thought that soundtrack was amazing and how it was incorporated into like the game and the world. I'm not an undying like proto metal fan who thought that rock like died after 1976, but that game didn't almost turn me to it. Like
the reason I didn't bring it up,
I love basking.
The reason I didn't bring it up is because for a game all about a musician, the music in that game kind of feels secondary. For the better. I think that the game gets better the less they focus on the music. But yeah,
it's not very mechanically tied around music either.
It's more of a narrative thing than It's not like a musical journey. I mean, it is, but it's not the musical journey that I think the developer wanted it to be. I liked it for other reasons.
Okay. So then it is it's best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. So it speaks for itself. There is Deathloop.
I get to go first.
Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going first. Village for both. I'm going with my heart here.
Yes.
I honestly do not think Village will take this, but I can in good conscience not put it for both because it is far and away better than the rest of these.
Just think about the dollhouse and stuff.
So I brought up Deathloop's use of audio. There are a lot of iffy stuff in that. Like that game, later on in the game, when you get so good that you're just fucking people up, you just throw people up 4 at a time, slam them all into a wall.
Do you mean like the way it's balanced, or
the musical clip that they have to ramp it up isn't long enough? So it'll still be ramping up when everybody in the area is dead.
Okay,
sorry, it's too long because it'll still be ramping up into the battle music, but everybody in the area will already be dead.
Yeah.
And I think that like if there's one thing you can, even the bad ones, that you can never fault Resident Evil for, it is sound design.
Absolutely.
They nail it every time.
And sound is also vital to horror as a concept, you make this
joke. You make this joke all the time, but like Forza Horizon 5 sounds like a great game, but you just sat under a car and with a microphone. Yeah. Like engines can only rev so many different ways, and you really captured the sound of what a turbo sounds like when it kicks in on a car, but like well-tread territory.
They do know how to mix music well into it. Which is funny, actually, that was not on the last category.
Okay,
either.
So in Forza's defense, there is a mechanic in that game that they added that I love. Basically, you have the different radio stations. The game will kind of over time determine which radio station you like, and if you listen to that radio station,
I saw that.
You'll get a certain song will come on, and then they'll be like, you get bonus experience while this song is playing.
Wait, really?
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was
that is a neat mechanic. Yeah. Other than that, it sounds like Forza Horizon 4, which also sounds amazing, but like I wouldn't put it for best. It's a car game.
Do you think, and not to go back to it, but just I'll keep it quick, but do you think that would have deserved a spot in soundtrack, or was it just, I don't know if they
No.
had, okay, you just weren't vibing with what they chose? I've heard mixed things about that.
Yeah, personally.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. I would put it over Near, but like
Where's Kid Amnesia?
that doesn't count. You can't nominate a visual experience of an album for best soundtrack. It's not
Opens
fair.
with everything in its rightful place.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Though Emily is Away 3. Yeah. It said licensed. That should count.
But
that music.
I'm going hardcore. I'm going hardcore to prove a point here. But shout out to Returnal.
Mm-hmm.
If I was doing this not from the heart, I'm doing this category from the heart.
Yeah.
But if I was doing this not from the heart, my actual pick would probably be Returnal because the audio design in that game is just chef's kiss. But
that's a
Resident
perfect
Evil
segue.
Village.
Yeah.
Perfect segue to Sean.
Sandwich me between you two guys because I feel like I know where this is going. Yeah, it goes without saying I'm self-admittedly the Returnal guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what your shirt says.
Yeah. 2 thumbs pointing right up. Listen.
It's the chick from the game winking on his shirt.
Forza, I honestly, when I was playing that game, I turned the radio stations off.
Yeah.
Because I was really into the sound of the tires hitting different terrain, the sound of
a racing game without music is blasphemous.
Yeah, I know you hate me for
but
this.
We've talked about this. This is also a problem that racing games like Forza fall into.
Mm-hmm.
So you have in the corner, sorry to take this away from you, but you have your tachometer, right? And when the tachometer goes in the red, you have to shift. If you're playing the game like a hardcore person and you're shifting.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
A lot of
you don't have to worry about that in an arcade racing.
A lot of people who shift their cars
do it off of sound.
Yeah. And when you have your game mixed so that the music is blasting, your people have to go into the menus and turn the music down to be able to hear when to shift their car, which I think is a detriment.
We'll talk about this in the sports category, but I do think there's a bit of an identity crisis with that series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll just cut straight to the point. Returnal.
All right.
Both picks. For reasons I can't go into, and as I've been spouting for like the last 2 weeks, there's a little bit more there than I think you really realize while you're playing. Some things that I even missed when I was playing, and then like deep dove through a bunch of videos, kind of going through in a little bit more hardcore detail. But I'll keep it short, save it for our game of the year stuff.
All right. Hey.
Heart, head,
I know.
everything.
Heart, head. We all went heart this category.
Gotta.
I will say, like, I'll make this quick, but the fact that Inscription is not here truly bums me out. I think that the way they use like analog synths to like, sounds for dialogue is like the raddest shit. And also, say what you will about the state of Call of Duty in 2021.
Oh my God, yeah, that music.
Vanguard sounds great, and the score is that might be the best part about that. Like, that's like
I think I only didn't think about it because it wasn't on this list.
Yeah, no, well, because it was.
I'd honestly put Call of Duty in for score. I think
the
score in that game is the best part.
It's fantastic, and so when I first collected this info for the episode, I assumed that Call of Duty wasn't anywhere on here because, like, I know the response hasn't been hot, but I think it should get its due diligence where it deserves it. But I thought it released too late. And then Austin was like, no, because there's stuff on here that came out after it. So I guess it's just soured people so much that they didn't even...
Outside of esports.
Yeah.
Or like competitive sport or esport, whatever.
Even that just says Call of Duty as a blanket. It doesn't say which one. But no, that game is a surround sound experience. No Far Cry 6 either. I actually like the sound in... it could probably grate on some people, but I love the way No More Heroes 3 sounds with just the fucking random bits of him shouting blueberries and raspberries. It just gets earwormed to me. Now, best performance.
Wait, you didn't vote, did you?
No.
Yeah, I said I was aligned with you, Austin, 100%. I'm Resi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I figured.
Yeah.
You said it when I was talking. You didn't. You just went right into snubs. So I missed it.
Credit where credit's due, because if Returnal wasn't on this list for some reason, I would have probably gone Resi as well.
All right. Hey, like I don't think anything here sounds bad.
When that tall lady steps on you, it sounds really good.
Hey, speaking of, it's time for best performance. Always a tough one. Awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and/or performance capture. We have Erica Mori as Alex Chen in Life is Strange: True Colors, Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo, sorry, in Far Cry 6. Jason Keighley, or is that Kelly?
Don't know.
As Colt Vaughn in Deathloop. Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu. Wait.
I don't actually. Demetro?
There was a lot
in
of
the in-game it
Demitrescu.
Demitrescu, yeah.
No, I think it's just
Demitrescu.
Yeah.
Okay. In Resident Evil Village.
Don't come for us.
A first for the series.
Yeah, sorry, I don't speak French.
All right, well, does anyone want to help me out with this last one?
Ozuma Akaga?
Yeah.
Yeah, as Juliana Blake in Deathloop. I'm going to go first this time.
Yep.
Cutting in line, I don't know. I'm not to... I know it's... this isn't meme answer, Maggie Robertson. As if for
the horny
tall,
answer.
sexy leather. Yeah.
Is that your personal pick, or
that's my personal pick?
Oh, wow.
Out of these 5.
Wow.
Though obviously Erica Mori's incredible. That game falls I think the whole cast. Like honestly, if I could actually choose my own out of any one this year, it would be Katie Bentz as Steph in Life is Strange: True Colors. But everyone in that game who voices Ryan and Jed and it's her brother, they're all just it is probably some of the best performances that franchise has ever seen. But there's something about the the crazy sort of theatrical kind of I just think she embodies that character, and I think there's a reason that people were so attached to that part of the game, and because just with
there's a reason.
Yeah, Mommy Milky.
Everyone in that game is scenery chewing to the degree of a Metal Gear Solid villain. When you're strapped in that chair and you see the doll maker and the slug guy and you see what's his Carl Heisenberg. Yeah, and he's just straight up like a fucking telepathic, just like steampunk witch guy. It's just everybody looks like they're having so much fun.
Yeah,
and
it also should be noted too that I think
despite
that
the surrogate is just of Ethan is just this scared as shit performance. The whole game.
I think that the act. If you ever watch an interview with Maggie Robertson, she did not know anything about Resident Evil when she was cast.
Really?
She is a stage actor.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
This is why her performance is so theatrical.
Yeah.
But she fucking leaned hard into that meme when it came out. She was telling people she'll step on them on Twitter. It was great.
Love it.
Yeah.
So just 2 other ones I want to shout out is I think his name was Nick E. Tarabay. He's Salim in House of Ashes. Okay. Who was the best part of that game? A friend and previous guest of the show, Dave, lucked out in that being his character for
Slim roles.
Yeah, and also I'm no one from Psychonauts 2 on here, and it's funny because I know they're just like Giancarlo, he's a real actor, but I thought Elijah Wood was
so good in Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, because he's playing 4 different people essentially.
Yep.
Yeah, which I can't really say without spoiling, but it's it's the first time you recognize that voice, you're like, that's who he's playing, and that's really fun and silly. But then as the game progresses, he has to he's
got a lot of range.
He's got a lot of range.
He starts out as that
kinda,
soft-spoken Frodo voice.
Yeah, kind of quirky, and but then
he really comes into it. He would be the celebrity pick for me.
But hold on, the last thing I'm going to say is my bet is Jason Keighley is Colt. That's my bet.
Jason, I think it's Kelly, but yeah.
Okay.
Either way,
I'm just writing character names because it's easy.
But I would love to see Erica Mori.
Okay, my turn.
Best protagonist that they've had.
Yes. Giancarlo Esposito, love you on Breaking Bad, man. If you're listening, just aces on that roll.
Yeah.
You suck in Far Cry 6. And I know why you're on here. And I hope to God that the press feels the same way as me and votes accordingly, because
I don't think he's getting it.
you are not good. Like when Mads Mikkelsen was up for Death Stranding, I was like, fucking A, yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Nope.
Yeah.
Personal pick, I'm going to go with Alex.
Cool.
I love that character. Did not expect to love a Life is Strange character as much as Chloe ever again, and I am wrong. Thankfully, I'm going to go Lady D.
Ooh, for the memes.
For the memes, for my prediction.
Okay.
Once again, I have to thank you guys. It's going to make this really short and sweet. You pretty much summarized all my thoughts.
You're going first.
In your 2 votes.
Next, though.
As far as personal. I'm trying to spread it out.
You don't have to.
No, I know.
Yeah.
My personal is going to be Alex.
Oh.
Or Erica Mori.
Yeah.
For like the reasons you mentioned, Randy, and same Austin.
That was the positive all, not the negative all there.
I want to, not even for the memes. I want to vote Lady D for my pick.
Just because her accepting that award, like, you think she would show up? Like,
that shit was fucking everywhere when that game came out.
It's unavoidable, yeah.
And I think it's a record in how fast the game was modded to get her into something a little more comfortable, if you know what I mean. But I think Deathloop is the most nominated game this year. Nine categories.
I believe you're correct.
I'm gonna hedge my bets. I'm gonna play the game a little bit, going for points. I think Colt or Jason. I think he's gonna take it.
Okay.
Really?
All
So I should say my secondary pick would be Juliana, actually.
I mean, I've heard more of Colt speak in the hours that I've played.
I think Juliana is better.
They work so well as a team.
They do. There's insane chemistry there. But I do think that, can't get into spoilers, I do think Juliana's better.
Yeah, I can see your reasoning.
Fair enough.
I definitely think as if like the gaming press is voting, I think even people catching up and maybe not completing it aren't going to see that back half, or maybe just people didn't get through it entirely. I don't know what the requirements are if you have to beat the game.
Yeah.
So I would say that the front half, or maybe even 70%, is Colt, and then like, would you agree? Like the back half.
The back half, Juliana really sells it. Yeah,
I do know what you mean. That like, this is always a rough category with how few entries are allowed. They need a best cast one or something like the SAG Awards. Because earlier, disclosure, I was playing Forgotten City like maybe a half hour before this started, and there's some good, like, I think there were really good performances in there. I don't think any one of them sticks out like a lot, but I just think collectively, it does a decent.
Shout outs to everybody in Psychonauts 2, especially Richard Horvitz.
Yes,
and also Jack Black and Elijah Wood. Shout outs to,
God, I love that.
I don't know who it is.
Your projection of yourself is fucking Ricky Simmons. It's Kerr from Invader Sim. That's great.
The chick that plays your version of Q in Hitman, I forget her name.
Oh, okay.
Like
Danica Blackwood.
Danica Blackwood, yes. Her voice actress has always been there, but she's phenomenal in Hitman 3, especially in Hitman 3, again, without getting into spoilers. I'm trying to think of any other games that I would give performance to. Inscription, maybe, that dude. Luke the Carter.
Luke Cardsmith. Luke the Carter. Luke the Lucky Carter.
Yep, Luke the Lucky Carter. And also shout out to specifically the chick who plays Gamora in Guardians. I thought she was
cool.
Awesome. I don't know her name. I'm sorry, but
still think you got snubbed, Katie Pence.
Yes.
Also, Steph was so beloved they gave her own DLC.
Yeah. Also, Steph. Yeah.
All right. So more of an odd award next, called Games for Impact, or for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social message. There's Before Your Eyes, I'm not sure. Boyfriend Dungeon, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, Life is Strange, True Colors, and No Longer Home. Not familiar with that one either.
This one's me, ain't it? Shit. Full disclosure, I've played one game on this list.
Same.
I have played two.
I intend to play Chicory.
Same.
Before we do our
That game
recap.
looks adorable, yeah.
So with that being said, I don't have a lot to say.
I don't have too much either. It's okay.
Honestly,
You can take the next one too if you want.
yeah, that'd probably be good.
So do we just our personal pick is Life is Strange because
Yeah.
it's the only one we all beat.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right. So
or played it all.
I played Boyfriend Dungeon.
Oh, did you?
For a good 5 hours.
No thanks.
So do we just want a shot in the dark?
Actually, my bet is Life is Strange True
Okay.
Colors.
What's your? Do you want a shot in the dark? Something else? Or you just want to go Life is Strange, Sean?
I'll hedge my bets and go shot in the dark. I'll go Chicory.
Okay.
I'll leave you with Boyfriend Dungeon.
Yeah, I'll go Boyfriend Dungeon.
Okay.
So Boyfriend Dungeon, to give it a little bit of credit where credit is due, Boyfriend Dungeon is a game all about dating.
Mm-hmm. That much I know.
And I think that the flirting writing in that game is really corny and bad. But I think that there's, I think that there are a couple of characters in that game. I guess this is spoilers, but I'm probably not going to talk about it in Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But like they handle things like unrequited love and stalking in a way that like
Gross.
isn't poorly done. So
All right.
yeah,
I figured there had to be a reason why it made the cut for that.
Yeah.
And
the whole thing is that you go to visit your cousin over summer, and you meet people that transform into swords.
Yeah. This much I know.
Yes. But like your cousin, but you're
And you pick
kind of
one.
you're kind of just dating around,
Mm-hmm.
and your cousin's just introducing you to like all these people, and let's just say he introduces you to some people who are less than savory characters, and they won't leave you alone. And I think that the way that the game handles the dialogue options you get to get people off your back is, and the sort of abusive aspect of stalking is kind of well done. Considering that is something that's very easy to fuck up.
Yeah.
You know which
So-
game tackles, pretty like weighty subject matter with a lot of respect and understanding? Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
Why is that not? Where the fuck
Yeah.
is that?
Because it's not a fluffy indie game.
I know.
Yeah.
It's better than that.
I know. That game handles a lot of shit.
But if you do want to toss up a fluffy indie game, I think Unpacking.
Yes,
Like,
I am surprised.
It tells the story without even like having
Did you play that?
like I started it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And
that game should
I know it's
be
not
on
long.
here.
I want to
Yeah.
finish it, but like
That's
I,
my main snub for this category. I think Unpacking should absolutely be on
I
here.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
Unpacking gives me a lot of Florence vibes.
I didn't get to play Florence. I remember you telling me about it. It did
Mhm.
sound pretty great. And also, maybe this is the most appropriate category, but I like it affected me, and that was Emily's Way 3.
I thought you were going to say Inscription.
yeah, for everything.
For those of you keeping track at home, I think Randy's Inscription count is up to 5 so far.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be more than that.
Yeah, so far.
All right, yeah, it's coming back.
We've done 1, 2,
I'm gonna balance it out.
3,
Games for
4,
Impact, Forgotten
5,
City.
We've done 6 categories, and he hasn't brought up. So yeah, you're right. 5. Yeah.
Best ongoing, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time.
Man, I really struck out.
I'm sorry.
2 in a row.
Apex Legends, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, still, Genshin Impact, and Call of Duty Warzone.
Listen, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not playing a lot of best ongoing games. I've played every game on this list, at least for an hour. That's about it in my life. I don't know. It's weird because this isn't community support or like
No, that's next, right?
Yeah.
right. So best ongoing, I guess, would be most lively community or
Best support from a gameplay perspective.
Right, yeah. So I mean, immediately my mind focuses in on this category as Final Fantasy, especially over the last year with their
totally
overwhelming uptick in player count.
That came up on our recap. Yeah.
Let me just jump in here. I think this is another none of us have personal picks category.
The only one of these 5 games I played this year at all was Warzone, and they do cool shit with that game, but yeah,
I'm gonna jump in here and agree with Sean and say that my vote is for Final Fantasy.
My vote is also for Final Fantasy.
I don't know if that's your vote, but
so
my vote's for Final Fantasy.
My vote is also for Final Fantasy.
All right, I'm gonna throw you both a little curveball.
Okay, I can do it.
I'm deeming this the year of the weeb.
Genshin?
Genshin?
And I think Genshin came out this year, right?
No, it came out at the end of last year.
Late last year. I think you're both. Oh, actually, yeah, they're both weeb games. Shit. I think.
Which one's more weeb?
Which one's got more waifus?
Oh, Genshin for sure.
You can get married in Final Fantasy though.
Yeah, but that's not a waifu. Waifus don't love you back.
True.
Yeah. Waifus don't consent.
Yeah. I'm gonna be the odd one out.
Genshin?
I think personally, there's a reason so many people flocked to Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
From various games, for various reasons. I'm gonna give it to Genshin.
Okay.
All right. Now, as you guys have mentioned,
Also, shout out to Fortnite for putting Martin Luther King in the game this year. That was cool.
I feel like this was missing from their list last year was Rainbow Six Siege. That's in reality, I think that's
yeah.
And, maybe you could say World War Z.
There's a
that
lot
expansion
of
this year.
Ongoing games.
They're all ongoing now.
Yeah.
But I just think what Siege does.
Franchises are being turned into ongoing as we speak.
Yeah.
Currently in
I
development.
know. Yeah. Oh my God.
Wait till all your favorite.
Far Cry.
Wait till Resident Evil is a.
No.
No, wait. Capcom. I think they're too smart for that.
As you guys have mentioned, next is best community support. This is recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, including social media activity and game updates and patches. There is Apex Legends, Destiny 2.
Nope.
Like, seriously?
Oh, sir.
Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, and previous topic, No Man's Sky, which that story continues to get wilder and wilder.
Okay.
It's brought up on our
So you're
anniversary.
first this time.
I am going to pick No Man's Sky as my personal. Just, because of the
Sean
the
Murray
relationship between...
Sean Murray is a blessing that this industry does not deserve.
Yes, that poor man. But I'm going to bet a double with Final Fantasy. I'm going to double down on Final Fantasy 14.
That's a fair bet.
Yeah. And again, no Siege. Bullshit.
I agree.
For community support, I wouldn't give it to Siege.
Fine, but ongoing.
But I would give it
The
to
nomination means something.
Yeah.
Siege's community hates them less than the Destiny community hates Bungie.
Yeah, the Destiny thing, I was like, what
That counts for something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
why the fuck Destiny is on here.
Yeah.
That community could not hate that developer more. I don't understand it. I'm going to put No Man's Sky
As your vote?
as my vote and as
And
my...
is your bet?
Yeah, I mean, Sean
Okay.
Murray's a blessing that this industry doesn't deserve. I said it
Imagine
before. I'll say it
rising
again.
from the ashes that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, let's go for 3 for 3. Wait, not 3 for 3.
Whose side are you on? Or are you going rogue?
This cuts 2 ways for me.
Okay.
I don't know. Fortnite's still strong, and they're constantly putting stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think this season is ending and something else is starting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know enough about
Yeah, they
the
put
inner
Kratos,
The most
Lara
recent-
Croft,
the-
Jill
the
Valentine,
most recent-
Martin Luther King,
Is the Master
update.
Chief in it?
Master Chief,
Naruto just got added.
Naruto.
So
it's just a giant amorphous amiibo.
Superman,
it's a lot
Batman,
it's a lot of
Spider-Man.
fan service.
Am I in it yet?
If supporting your community is providing them with nostalgia fits and fan service, yeah, maybe they win. But I think it goes much deeper than that. So with that being said, I'm torn. I'm going to vote No Man's Sky, and personally, and I'm going to try and will it into existence that we get that beautiful man's face.
Yeah, Kim coming out on stage.
Yeah, in some capacity. I'm 50-50 between this and Final Fantasy. I want to will Sean Murray's presence into existence with my vote single-handedly.
He's so shy. I love him.
You can all thank me later if they win.
So now it's best indie, which will only get more confusing over time. So for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. It's not the worst explanation when you break it down there. But they have 12 minutes.
I want to take the knife and stab myself with it.
Death's Door.
Okay.
Inscription. Woo. Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. And Loop Hero. Damn good year for Devolver.
Oh, yeah.
So
I get to go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's fine.
Which means that I get to cut Randy off at the pass. No talking.
Well,
I get to cut Randy off at the pass and say that I think my personal pick
I will flip this table.
is Inscription.
Okay, good. The table's not getting flipped.
No, I'm just saying I get to say it before you.
Fucking
that game is fucking amazing, and if you haven't played it, please do. Also, play Pony Island.
yes.
God, my iPad keeps correcting Inscription to the right way to spell it. I'm also going to put Inscription for my pick.
Hey.
short and sweet.
Yep. Short and sweet.
Having played and beaten, I guess, every game with the exception of Loop Hero.
Oh, wait. Before short and sweet. Fuck 12 minutes. Why the hell is it on?
Yes.
Yeah. No,
I mean, honestly,
no Emily is Away 3, no Jackbox Party Pack 8, no Forgotten City.
Yeah.
Even the Medium. Come on, anything over 12
The
minutes.
Ascent.
The
Remember
Ascent,
that?
yeah.
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 I also don't know why 12 minutes is on here. If you like that game, actually, you know what? No, if you love that game,
You're wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's just the way that it is.
I think I said this. I'm going to say it again on our, on our Game of the Year. But after we beat it, so you know how the carpeting is the Shining carpeting?
Yeah.
And I was like, nothing against the person that created this. I know they worked very hard on it, but I was like, this person really wanted to make a Kubrick film and made a Shyamalan picture instead.
Yes.
I hate when I do that. Death's Door was really good for reasons I'll get into.
Yeah, I know you were hot on that.
When we do our Game of the Year stuff. Inscription. I mean, really, I'm going to leave it up to Randy. He's done so much deeper of a dive into this. I'm really kind of saving the deeper stuff for when he gets to tell that version of the story.
Yeah.
Kenna, whatever. I thought this was a great
you
game.
beat that game and you're like, how to pronounce?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was calling it Kenna. I don't know. I think this was a really good game. I really enjoyed my time with it. Like many of the people in the industry were talking about, it really captures that, like, PS2 era kind of action adventure type game.
Yeah, you were saying that, which there's not a lot of anymore.
It's a really enjoyable experience, except for the fact it feels like the bosses are Dark Souls-ified, which, is something I don't think maybe
seems a bit analogous to the,
the story is really beautiful. And then Loop Hero was a
Fine.
knee-slappingly good time for the time that I played it. But like I said, that's the only one I didn't beat here. I'm going to have to go Inscription for my personal vote. I'm trying to think if it loses. I'm trying to realize a world where it loses this category to Death's Door.
Well, that's the thing. We all love Inscription, but I also think that the industry slowly reacted to that game in a way. I don't know when these votes are done.
No,
but
it's very vindicating to see now people talking about how fucking badass that game is, because I was just going to say Inscriptions 12 times after, you were done, Sean, and then cynically bet against myself to, see Loop Hero, everybody was so hot on it, and then it kind of,
it had its
tapered
time.
off, which is it's fine. I'm not saying that like a negative thing. Death's Door is similar, which is why I was thinking about choosing one of those two.
I think I'm going to go with my vote being Death's Door.
All right, then I'm going to go with my bet being Loop Hero.
Really?
Yeah.
And then we don't even have to say your personal. It's already written down.
Well, because here's the thing. It's like I'm obviously praying for Inscription to come out on top to come out on top here. But at least if I lose, I can, I won't be doubly angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was not familiar with Daniel Mullins' games prior to this.
You should play.
You should. Yeah,
I know.
you should play Pony
Yeah,
Island. I should play the Hex.
I've heard nothing but good things about his previous games. So I went into this with no expectations.
Yeah,
and walked away thoroughly satisfied. So
I'm gonna bottle this all up for a couple weeks. But
can you?
Well, it's bleeding out into something right now. But I will. If it hasn't been said already, if you're the Returnal guy, we all love Inscription, but that's my game of the year. This game, Inscription, changed my opinion of the genre. It's kind of similarly how I felt about Hades last year.
Okay.
In that, so for anybody that may not be familiar, this is the elevator pitch for Inscription, and then I'll let you see the rest because describing almost anything about this game would be a disservice for you to not experience it firsthand. It's basically like a survival horror escape room puzzle game is the framing, but the one layer of game within the game is a roguelike deck builder. And they play with your expectations even on those concepts many times, but it's like, I don't like card games in physical or digital form, and I think that even despite the artwork and music and mystery, like the narrative setup and thrust, it's a pretty fucking cool card game. It's so intuitive and addicting, and really dark and
I'm the polar opposite, right? So I have memories.
Oh, Austin is extremely experienced with card games and
Tracy, I don't know how far your time with card games goes back.
I know you're a Slay the Spire guy. I don't know if you
I played the shit out of that too. Yeah. Like physical card games, I played.
Oh God, yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Magic.
Right. That was my first intro into competitive card games. And then from there it went to Magic and, whatever, even into my mid to late 20s. So finding out that this was a card game excited me. But it's so much more than that.
That's the funny thing. When I saw that trailer, I was like, this looks like really sick, but I'm also cautious because I'm afraid I'm too stupid.
Right.
And that game is the right, in my opinion, someone might disagree, but I think it handles difficulty super well. You are kind of encouraged to break it, and it's, and then, once you think you've done something, God, there's FMV in it. Awesome. All right.
You gotta stop now.
Yeah. Put the cork in them.
All right.
Bottle that shit
up. Best mobile game. It's this is the opposite of how I feel about Inscription, where I'm going to have literally nothing to say.
Sorry, I got to correct you. Best mobile game presented by Verizon.
At least it's by a
mobile
company, not Subway or whatever.
The only place you should be playing your mobile
Games for Impact, presented by Schick, Hydro, Thunder, or whatever.
So this category, the bane of my existence. I'm kidding. But for best game playable on a mobile device, the nods are Fantasian. Genshin Impact, which that was nominated last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This category's a sham. League of Legends, Wild Rift, Marvel Future Revolution, and Pokemon Unite, which is also on Switch, so connected to a TV. I'm just saying. Actually, Genshin Impact is also there's a PlayStation.
Yeah, it's on everything.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's on the Switch, but it's on all the real video
This is yours.
devices.
Oh, is it?
You got a lot to say, I think.
I have played none of these, and I have no desire to play any of them. Don't hate me. But if I guess gun to my head, I'd probably be most likely to try Pokemon Unite, despite my distaste for MOBAs. But also, I think I've heard the best conversations around Genshin Impact. So that'll be my pick and bet. It sounded more inventive anyway.
Yeah.
I also, I guess I knew very little about the other three. Is the League of Legends one, is that what?
I don't know. I have no
What is
idea what
Wild
that is.
Rift?
Do you?
So, as the only person who's played all 5 of these games.
Have you really?
Yeah.
What the fuck is Marvel Future Revolution?
So, Marvel Future Revolution is
Or
a
Fantasia.
Destiny-like loot game. It's better than Marvel Avengers.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, there were a lot of people coming out and saying it's a better version of Avengers.
Is it like the Ultimate Alliance?
It's more MMO-like than that.
Okay.
All right.
It's very MMO-like, where it's like, it's more like Marvel Heroes.
Oh, wait, the one that got shut down?
The Diablo one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Marvel Future Revolution is it's weird because a lot of people talked about it, but it dropped off really quickly.
When did it come out?
Summer. These all kind of dropped off really quickly. Genshin Impact is kind of cheating because
You're right.
it's the best game, but it's also the only game that's playable as of right now on consoles.
Yeah.
Although technically
Well,
you
Pokemon
can,
right?
is on Switch.
right. Well, I said consoles.
Okay, dude.
Got him. Fucking Nintendo.
What is if you don't mind me asking, what is Fantasian?
Okay, so
Yeah.
Fantasian.
Is it like Fantasia Music
No.
Evolved?
Fantasian is Mistwalker's new game. You may remember this. It is an Apple Arcade game. It is an RPG. The entire
Not ringing a bell.
all of the backgrounds in the game are actual models that are filmed and tilt shifted to make them look more like models.
Interesting.
That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool looking. It is also a turn-based RPG.
Okay.
It's Mistwalker, the people that did Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey.
Oh, because for a minute, something you were
Oh,
describing
really?
Octopath or something.
I was gonna say I just fell back asleep.
It is very similar looking to Octopath. I don't think the game is good. I think it looks good.
Okay.
But a lot of people were super into it. We all know what Pokemon Unite is, yes?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
Pokemon MOBA.
Wait, sorry, real quick. Is that Fantasian game? Is that like a game? It's not like a live or multiplayer game? Like,
No. It's a story-based, turn-based RPG.
that's kind of cool.
okay.
Like,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? I'm going to change my pick to that.
Okay.
No, but my bet is still Genshin.
Yeah. League of Legends Wild Rift.
I at least applaud
You
them.
want to give that game a download?
Nope.
Okay. Me neither.
League of Legends Wild Rift is, instead of just porting League of Legends to phones and consoles, they redid the whole game from the ground up for phones and consoles. So it is a separate version of League where they are reintroducing all of the characters from League, but they are balancing the whole thing to work on phones and consoles.
It's more boring than I thought.
Yes, but also League of Legends Wild Rift is my personal pick because I don't hate League. I don't hate MOBAs, but I have always had one problem with them, which is the way that they control.
And you were like, what if this was a touchscreen?
A controller.
What if this was a controller?
Yeah.
Put League of Legends on a controller, it turns out when you don't tie attack and movement to the same input, it's a better game. That's
Right.
my pitch.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to vote
Still a MOBA though.
yes, it is still a MOBA. I'm going to vote Fantasian as my guess, my prediction, and I'm going to put League of Legends Wild Rift as my personal pick.
I'm going to assume, given the time that Pokemon came out and the fact that I think it was available on both phone and Switch the same
I think
day.
it actually was Switch first.
No?
Yeah.
Was it? Switch first?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was available on Switch.
Okay, even better.
It was available on Switch for a month, and then it came out on phones.
Even better.
It was just a month.
That supports my whole reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
This is best mobile. Are they taking that into consideration?
Yeah, the Switch is a mobile platform.
Sometimes.
Okay.
It's about the power of a cell phone. Continue.
No argument there.
I'm
Take
just
number 2, suck it, Nintendo.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna play the fuck you. I'm gonna play the game that is the Game Awards and assume based on the voting from Games Press, that's gonna be their choice.
Pokemon Unite?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's not unrealistic.
like I said, I think the most interesting one from all these for me would be Pokemon Unite. So I'm going to do that as a personal.
I should say I played Pokemon Unite, and in some aspects I like MOBAs, and in other aspects I'm vehemently opposed to MOBAs. There's only one MOBA that I have enjoyed playing, and that was Heroes of the Storm.
It's the only MOBA I've played.
And I didn't play them for very long because nobody would play them with me, and I don't blame anybody, but I did enjoy my time with Pokemon Unite, and I enjoyed my time with League of Legends Wild Rift. I just think it's a symptom of, like, League of Legends is a game that's been around forever, so they're better at making that kind of game. That's why I would go with that over...
Sure.
And the only reason I'm picking Pokemon is because the amount of people that would just play this.
Yeah.
And then also seemingly find it fun.
I mean, some of the
Pokemon fans.
stuff I've heard about the business model of that game.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not good.
Rubbed me the wrong way.
Whereas the business model of League of Legends also sucks.
Yeah, well,
and that is in Wild Rift.
that genre in general.
Yeah.
Okay. Best AR/VR. Remember that? Remember those? Or for the best game experience, playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. There are Hitman 3. Right, I forgot that add-on came out.
Yep.
I Expect You to Die 2. Yeah, the first was fun. Lone Echo 2. Resident Evil 4 on Oculus. Meta. Whatever the
Meta Rift.
and Sniper Elite VR. Anybody?
Nope.
I was going to ask this question as well.
Nope. I did not play any of these. I don't want to hook up my VR headset. It takes too much work. I don't have enough room.
I mean, the one I want to play the most is the one that has like exclusivity tied to it in a kind of a gross way.
Yeah, I know. Resident Evil, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm just going to make this fucking speedy quick here. That's my pick and my bet. People seem to love it.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you.
It's gotten the most attention. I mean, Hitman 3 is a game outside of that.
Yeah.
That has had an exceptionally positive response, but I haven't heard enough about.
Are you also going
sequels.
RE4?
I kind of just want to, mix it up.
Okay.
Because, I mean, out of all these games, the one I would want to play is RE4.
I've heard people being super hyperbolic about that game, where they're like, it's better than RE4 on the GameCube. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But do they have, is it a Twitch stream, and do they have hashtag ad in their title?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think RE4 is a given by any means.
I'm just going to say, if I were to have to pick one of these to choose to play, with RE4 as an exception, I would pick...
Sniper Elite could be fun.
I would pick Lone Echo. So I'm going to go with that.
I've heard Lone Echo.
I know the previous one did like people loved it.
Was that also VR?
Yes.
Ready at Dawn.
Is that Ready
the
at
Order
Dawn?
1886 people. Yes.
Wow.
Oh wait,
Weird.
maybe I.
I didn't hate that game.
No, neither did I. But yeah, I will.
And we played I Expect You to Die here. You bought that.
No, I haven't played the sequel though.
No, I haven't either.
I Expect You to Die is very good.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go for the outlier
Lone
here.
Echo?
Yeah, Lone Echo
Okay.
2 for my prediction.
Next category.
Wait, Austin, were you Resi?
Yeah, I picked Resi as well.
Okay.
Just like I said, people are being like super hyperbolic about it. I assume it's gonna get.
So I like this. It's actually a newer category introduced. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. Innovation and accessibility.
Sorry, innovation and accessibility presented by Chevrolet.
Wait, is that?
Yes.
God. Recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience.
Cool.
They chose Far Cry 6, Forza Horizon 5, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, and The Veil, Shadow of the Crown.
So
no fucking clue.
Yeah, I honestly don't know this title. So I'm a dirty, nasty, inverted control player.
Yo, me too.
This room. Ugh.
So messing around in the settings and the menus before I jump into a game is something I'm very familiar with.
I mean, I do that just out of like subtitle hunting and
which I am
difficulty
also
scaling.
I am also an avid subtitle user.
Mm-hmm.
I am for video games. I want them on in every video games.
I know we differ on that when it comes to movies.
Yeah.
One of us has kids. One of us does not.
Fair enough.
One of us has ADD. One of us does not.
Also, yeah, I'm victim of both those things.
Yep. Sorry,
So-
2 of us have ADD. One of us does not.
Listen, I'm totally cool with foreign, I'm subs not dubs.
Oh, I turn subtitles off in foreign movies,
Yeah.
but I leave them on in English movies. Yeah.
Yeah, my attention jumps around when I'm watching movies, and
Yeah.
it's my ear will catch a sound and focus on that, but my eyes can still look at the screen and read. So, but yeah, as being that I basically go through the settings in every game before I start playing it.
Which one had the most settings?
As far as the most settings, I'm pretty sure it's Forza.
Yeah, that's my
I would think out of all these, the accessibility on different levels.
Part of me also just wants to give it to Microsoft because Microsoft's been at the forefront.
With
of
the
this
adaptive controller and
Yeah.
Also that.
Yeah.
Also that as well. Good point. I don't know what the veil is, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think if we're going off of just amount of choices and things like that, it does say innovation, so I guess how you use them, but offering more choices is kind of opening people up to use more things. So
totally.
there's even like a slow mode. I think you can play the game in half speed.
Yeah, I heard
You
about
can play
that.
the game in slow motion. It supports every controller from the adaptive controller up to $4,000-$5,000 steering wheel things.
Yeah.
That is pretty incredible.
You can adjust difficulty so that the game will steer for you, so that it will accelerate for you, so that it will brake for you.
Yeah, I saw all that in there.
It goes in accessibility from do you want the game to be super hard all the way to do you not have the motor skills to play and everything in between.
I mean, it was Microsoft Gears 5 had stuff like that
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
but that's a good argument. It's tough to say. I mean, like that's my pick. I think I might change my bet just to shake things up.
I'm
if you guys are both going Forza.
I'm gonna do a mini rant. Okay.
All right.
I don't
Get on it.
understand in this day and age how hard it is to not implement an FOV slider in a first person shooter on console. I know there's a lot of technical reasons.
Widening the FOV makes performance worse.
Right.
Does Far
You
Cry
render
not
more.
have
Far
this?
Cry does not have an FOV slider on console.
That's a knock because is it a thing where you're more comfortable or is it a thing where you literally get motion sickness from low FOV?
No, it's just irritating.
Okay. Because I have met people who get motion sickness from low FOV and have to play their games on PC
Really?
because
I in Far Cry specifically, I feel like my head is like half a foot more forward in that game. It just feels too squished.
yeah.
And that took some getting used to in the beginning of the game. So as far that's my own
That's
with the
valid.
game. But like I said, I know that there's technical limitations with that type of stuff, but I'm just tired of it.
Sony and Microsoft are both very good with accessibility.
Oh yeah, The Last of Us 2 was.
You guys
Fucking crazy
will have to
with that.
speak on Ratchet and Clank because I haven't played a ton of it. I plan to before Game of the Year. But
I'm gonna go back through it. I don't because I played that on launch. I don't remember what accessibility was available.
I think similar to Psychonauts 2, you can automate some of the combat.
Gotcha, okay.
But I don't remember anything sticking out more than what you would want and expect from.
I dig through a lot of menus like you do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly remember anything innovative about Far Cry or Guardians.
Yeah.
So I have to go Forza for both. I think Forza just a lot of it's taken from 4, but Microsoft's just so good at this.
I
think
they've invested into it for so long.
Okay, I'm gonna do a mini self-insert.
Okay.
For any of you listeners out there that are having trouble with Returnal, I was like you at one point in time. Now here's a little funny thing
You're
you can
looking
do.
right at me when you say that.
I have a funny thing that I was messing around with. There is no difficulty slider or ability to change the difficulty in that game, but there are options in there that you can choose a reticle size.
Okay.
So it's very forgiving with the aiming because it is a very fast-paced action game where there's a lot you got to manage at once. Movement, you know,
The
positioning,
traversal feels great.
yeah,
That's
aiming and all that stuff like that. Yeah, traversal
Yeah.
without getting into spoilers, but there are options in that game that can actually make it a little bit easier if you adjust like reticle settings and certain things in the menu. I forget exactly what I did,
Okay.
but if anybody, you know, is playing that game and having a hard time, I made those changes, and you know, I've since beaten the game, and I'm so happy that I did. But little tangent, little side note thing, because it's funny, it's not innovative.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that a game like that lets you mess around with that kind of stuff, and it does kind of result in
It's more options than like maybe a Metroid would give you.
maybe it's a placebo effect. Maybe it's like in your brain and you think, you know, whatever. I don't know. It helped me. So, not innovative. Maybe changing your reticle size in a console game to make it a little bit less
I wanted the whole screen.
precise and things like that. But I'm just looking for an excuse to talk about Returnal.
Shout out
Inception
to
to- no,
shout out to One Step from Eden, which is a roguelike game that came out this year. I started playing it. It's fucking hard, but they give you a slider where you can slow the whole game down. You can also adjust how much damage you take from enemies. So
Nice.
yeah. Which if like Metroid Dread had that, maybe like I don't know. just thinking out loud, you know?
What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
So did you both bet on Forza?
I did.
Okay. You can. I just
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think anything walks away with
no.
this.
You're right, but just as Hail Mary, I'm gonna bet on Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
Just because I do like that game, and it hasn't. I don't think it's gotten any of my
Yeah, listen, I think
My
there
love
was
elsewhere, so.
I think there was a better game that started with the letter R that was a Sony exclusive this year. You know,
I can't think of it.
no, I can't. Yeah, it's but
Oh, Resident Evil Village isn't exclusive.
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I specified. But yeah, it's not getting a lot of love. But I think you mentioned this last night when we were talking about it. It's the best game everybody forgot about. So much so I forgot so much.
Releasing early in the year is kind of a
Wait, what game?
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Honestly,
Everyone had such a great time, and then it left their brain just like
Hey.
I did.
funny little.
Hitman 3 released in January.
Well, I just played that last week,
Well,
or within the week.
right,
And
but I mean-
also Returnal released in March.
Oh, I'm never gonna forget
Yeah,
that
but
game.
April.
I still think that both of those games there's the conversation around them has stayed.
Yeah,
Like because I think people are discovering Returnal
I mean,
still, and people are discovering Hitman still with like a Ratchet. I think everybody who wanted to play it played it, and then it was
We're talking about accessibility.
okay.
yeah.
We'll
sorry.
get into this in Game of the
Sorry.
Year. There are a couple 3D platformers that came out this year, and only one of them deserves an award. Moving on.
All right, now, so this is we're now on to the genre stuff. Some make sense, some not, as far as their categorizing goes.
Ooh, this one's gonna be rough.
I know. First is best action game. For the best game in the action genre,
Now,
focused
this-
primarily on combat.
This more than anything, we kind of have to just vote
Yeah.
because this is a lot of these
There's a
games
lot of
are going
opinions.
to come up.
I mean,
in our game
all
of
the
the
genre
year.
categories, because
Yeah.
we'll get straight to the point. We'll be concise with these because this is what game is better than what game, rather than just specifically talking about
Yeah.
the art or the music.
Let me give a little promo
So.
for to hear me and Randy scream at each other about Back for Blood. Please tune in a couple weeks to our Game of the Year cast.
Yeah. Oh well, and I also get to bust out the popcorn when the Metroid Dread comes up. So it'll be,
And Returnal. To hear Sean talk more about Returnal.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to
Yeah.
stop.
I'm not going to do my best to stop when it comes to Inscription and Resident
Okay,
Evil.
yeah,
so.
then fuck you guys.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna
The Game of the
smack
Year
in my
cast,
hand.
And
the Game of
Psychonauts,
the Year
too.
cast is not about holding back at
Yeah.
all.
I'm gonna be
yeah.
smacking the
Chelsea will
shit
just be
out of my hand.
shouting Psychonauts and just like
Yeah.
in the corner of the room for 3 hours. So we have Back for Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal.
Did you call my name? Oh shit, my bad.
Who's going first? We lost track.
We
I'll
did.
go first.
You can go first. Yeah.
Death Loop for both. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
I'm also going to say Deathloop for both.
Okay. All right, let's look at.
I haven't played Returnal yet.
Let's look at the nominations.
You bought it for me.
Listen, this is going to be. I don't know where to go with this one. Let's see. You said Back for Blood, Chivalry. Oh, I haven't played that this year. I should.
The first one was cool.
Steam sale's going on. Autumn sale.
Yeah, we can get into show.
I might have to check. Yeah, fucking Returnal.
Yeah, I assume that's your personal pick.
For a bunch of different reasons I can't go into.
Is that your pick for both?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, like you guys said, like we can't go into.
Yeah, it's
anything.
weird. It's weird not to get ahead of ourselves, but like one of those is nominated for Game of the Year, and the other one's not.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of weird how that works.
Yeah.
Kind of strange.
Did I not just say the thing about
You're
Sony exclusives
now?
are in their title?
I also
Deathloop begins with a D, sir.
No, Sony exclusives.
Deathloop's technically.
I know, but Ratchet who? Everybody's been saying the last couple months.
You're not gonna find any argument for me for Ratchet and Clank.
That'll probably come more from me, but that's not a hell of a
I played more hours of Returnal than I did Ratchet and Clank
So far,
I mean, I plan to play both, but like, if you made me pick right now, gun to my head,
I know we didn't
Returnal's
get
better.
to sink our teeth that deep into Far Cry 6, but I would do a little swap with that and No More Heroes.
Far
Cry 6 would have gotten more buzz around it if it did anything close to what Deathloop did in my eyes.
Oh yeah. No. I was just talking about nominations. I wasn't comparing it to Deathloop. I was saying No More Heroes 3 was a good time. It was fun.
No More Heroes 3. They did a surprising amount of work to that combat to make it more fun, more work than I thought they were going to do. I'll give it that credit.
And I also am endlessly amused by the fact that game seems to aggressively hate itself and you for playing it.
I also aggressively hate myself and hate myself for playing it. So.
I'll talk more on that.
With Far Cry here, Far Cry gonna Far Cry. You know what I mean?
So I'm not surprised
too long
you guys in the tooth.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you guys kind of fell off of it.
Well, we only fell off of it.
We're playing co-op, and
it's a busy time of year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
actually enjoyed like the first.
It's fun.
Yeah. Like it's
fun. Better than 5 so far.
Yeah, it's like you shut your brain off. It's it's just like I was like the shooting feels tighter. The AI and mission design feels better than I don't know.
I'm sorry. I hit the link for the next category. We should move on.
All right.
Because the next category is going to be a rough one.
Is the bloodbath? Oh boy, yeah. All right. So yeah, none of what we just said to be confused with best action adventure. For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, they selected Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread.
Trash.
This is in its first.
That's how I'm stuck in my throat.
We're gonna get letter bombs. I
don't care if I die because of how much I don't like Metroid Dread. That's fine. That's a fine way to go.
You and Adam Sessler.
Yeah.
Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
All right, Sean, you're up.
Oh, this is me.
Yeah.
Pass.
All right, fair enough. Randy, you go first.
Resident Evil. Okay, so I adore Psychonauts 2, so I wasn't trying to...
So I'm assuming when you belt out Resident Evil, you're saying that for your personal.
That's my personal.
Yeah.
My bet is Metroid Dread. And I haven't started it. I haven't gotten to start it yet.
Your pick is Metroid Dread for prediction.
Yeah, my prediction is Metroid Dread.
Damn.
I think so. It's up for Game of the Year. I mean, so is Resident Evil and Psychonauts 2, but...
Yeah, people are stupid.
And Ratchet and Clank, I guess. But I don't... Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I think it's... The reason that I mean, it's no surprise... Like, any surprise to anyone who's listens to this or in this room who knows me, that Resident Evil is my favorite game series. But, like... As far as that franchise goes, to me, it is the definition of action and adventure together. So that's how I'm like justifying like
that's fair.
Like I think it's like if I'm other than that it's a survival horror game. If someone is like, how do you describe Resident Evil in 2 words? That's what they are.
All right, so am I next?
But because I don't even know, because just real quick, it's like something like a House of Ashes or Forgotten City, I guess are just more adventure than action adventure.
House of Ashes is might as well, it's a point-and-click adventure. It's a
playable
the
movie,
modern version of point-and-click adventure.
It's all QTEs.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Which is totally fine for what it is, but it's like it's
a narrative experience.
But
choose your own adventure.
Yes,
if you will.
yeah. But yeah, pick Resi, bet Metroid.
Okay.
I feel like my odds are pretty good if I was at a casino.
So let me take a deep breath. Metroid Dread will come up on our Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to
podcast.
duke it out with Matt.
I'll kill him.
Although Sean, I know you liked it too, and I plan on I need to have a. I'm tired of not having a horse in that race.
I'm sorry,
so.
I have history with Mercury Steam, going back 11 years.
Yeah.
To Lords of Shadow.
Oh my God, Lords of Shadow.
As a very big Metroid and Castlevania fan, these guys have been shitting on my favorite fucking like one of my favorite genres of games for a long time.
I'm also into Metroid and Castlevania. It is. Crazy? I haven't started this.
Am I happy Metroid Dread exists? Yeah, because I feel like it's 11 years of work and a lot of like stepped on titles along the way. Personally, subjective. But I'm very excited to get into what your issues are, because although I enjoyed it, I can definitely sympathize.
I'm being hyperbolic for the sake of comedy.
Yeah.
We'll get into it more.
Yeah.
But we've talked about Ratchet and Clank. There are 2 3D platformers on this list, and one of them is phenomenal. And the other one is Ratchet. No, Ratchet and Clank is a great game, but Psychonauts 2, I think, is better at what both of them are doing than Ratchet and Clank. To sum it up without spoiling or getting too far into it.
Yeah.
I'm torn.
Although I will say Ratchet and Clank, that leans more into the actions. It's a third-person shooter, really. As opposed to like...
Well, yeah, Psychonauts is a platform.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think Ratchet and Clank is more comparable to Guardians. And
it's so weird because, to me, the term action adventure, I do think you're right with Village. I also think that Marvel Guardians fits the title way better.
Sure. Well, that's because that game...
It's a fucking Tomb Raider game.
Right. With like Life is Strange
It's the people that made Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah. I guess I was just breaking it down as literally as possible.
What was the 3 games that you used to describe it? You said Tomb Raider, Life is Strange, and there was one other item.
Mass Effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My personal pick is, if they're going to make me pick between these 3, Guardians is out. I mean, my top 3 games of the year include 2 of these games. And I'm going to have to go Psychonauts over Village personally.
I don't hate you.
And my pick. I'm going to do Psychonauts for both.
Okay. Go with your heart.
Because I do think you're right, but my heart will not let me vote for Metroid Dread. Because if that happens and I win, I'll still be angrier than if I lose.
So your pick was Resi and Dread for prediction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
You were Psychonauts for both.
Yes.
Okay. For me, Marvel is out because it feels very on rails.
It does. It's
very
good.
linear.
It's a very good game.
That actually makes me more pumped to start
linear,
it, just because
it is very
open world fatigue is
to be. There's not a whole lot of adventuring.
I'm comfortable
I would
with
say.
that.
And then even with the puzzle solving, I don't think there's.
Well,
a lot
that's what I think. The
that goes
Tomb
into
Raider
it.
aspects of climbing and puzzle solving give it the adventure aspect.
And there is some of that in this, but it's again
lessened from Tomb Raider and Uncharted.
Yes. It's still enjoyable, but as a fan of more linear games,
same.
I would say it's done well.
Yeah.
Dread. As
dreadful.
personal?
Dreadful. No. Dreadful. Dread.
Yeah,
Metroid.
Your brain just broke.
Yeah, it did. The more I sit and think about this game, I'm starting to like
hate it.
Just
turning on it.
I'm just like my feelings are changing.
Mm.
You know, it's when you get it's like when you get a pube and you're like, what the fuck is this? Why is hair down there? No, enough bullshit.
Weird analogy, but yeah.
Yeah, very weird. Yeah, I'm in the same mindset you guys are. I totally understand your reasoning, Randy, for Dread.
Yeah.
I would say for my pick, personal pick, Resi.
Okie doke.
All right.
Personal pick.
Yeah.
My prediction is Ratchet's so weird here because it's like, would people really go for that?
I don't know.
In this, in this company,
it's tough to say.
We all forgot about it, but I wouldn't be surprised if people voted for it.
That's what's kind of tearing me.
It's a very optimistic game.
I'm still trying to play the game, you know. I'm still trying to get in the heads of all those judges. I'm gonna go Psychonauts.
Okay.
Cool.
Playing for points.
Best role-playing game. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. There's Cyberpunk 2077, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Tales of Arise.
Who's first?
Who's up?
I'll go first. Cyberpunk is my personal pick.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's mine too. It's the only one I've played.
It's the only Western RPG on here.
Even if it's disappointing.
So I haven't been keeping track.
Mm-hmm.
How is the game now?
Or Cyberpunk? It's better.
Yeah.
Right, but technically I'm sure, but there's like fundamental things that I feel like.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's getting.
If you waited,
there was that news story recently that like the Steam reviews hit mostly positive for the first time ever because it went on sale for 30.
A year.
Yeah.
Where's those it was PS5 and Series X versions?
It was popping up
in 2022.
Yeah. It was popping up for like $10 on sale at like Target a couple times this year.
That's worth $10.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
I'm being hard on because there's stuff about the game I like, but there's stuff that I.
Yeah, it sucks because when it originally released, I was so in.
Oh, we're on record like with this show. Mm-hmm. Like we were really jazzed up until the release of that thing.
Yeah, not to take just the like stereotypical position of being like, oh, it was busted on launch.
No.
You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know.
For me, the performance wasn't even the issue. It was just things about the cohesiveness of the world and the trajectory of the story and some of the mission design. And
I liked the game far more than Randy did, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
We're here to predict between that and 4 games that none of us have fucking played.
Yes. Here's the thing is, though, people love, the rest of them are very niche. Cyberpunk actually, had...
most appeal.
Yeah, had the most grand appeal.
Because it's a first-person shooter.
Which is funny because, and Austin, you can... back me on this. When these awards came out, there were a lot of people super pissed that Cyberpunk was even up for consideration here.
Yeah.
And but it's by far the RPG that people have played the most.
Yes,
that says something.
RPG fans don't care.
Yeah.
That's
JRPG
just
fans
because the world doesn't care about them.
I know.
You're the weeb.
They're like NFT people without the wealth. I
have heard Tales of Arise is dope.
Tales of Arise is my
prediction. That's my prediction as well.
Yeah.
I liked Symphonia 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is that? Can you still play 4-player co-op in those?
Of course not.
Yeah.
Is your personal pick Cyberpunk?
I mean,
or nothing?
I feel like it has to be.
You can just say nothing.
Nah, I'm still gonna say Cyberpunk. Okay. It's got Keanu.
True.
Yeah, this is tough.
And the band Health.
I mean, I've played a very small amount of Cyberpunk. I meant to get around to playing Rise. I still mean to, but, Nexus didn't really appeal to me. I've heard good things. Tensei is from what I
Just play
understand,
Persona.
way too fucking hard and not like a good
Yeah.
entry level for somebody who doesn't understand these types of games.
No.
And again, Arise is like reviewed really well, has a lot of, positive feedback behind it. I hate to phone it in here. I'm going to have to go prediction Arise too, or Arise as well as you guys.
Yeah.
It could be a gimme, or we all get fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with Monster Hunter World.
Well, that's the crazy thing. Like, World brought a lot of new people on board.
Yeah.
And then they made this, and it was like a Switch exclusive. And I was
Yeah.
like, that seems counter to the, like...
From what I understand,
I
though,
don't
it's definitely weird for that type of transition, but I think they just wanted to capitalize off of that, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. They
Bring
did their
people
expansion before. And
Yeah.
all that, so...
Yeah, I guess I got to go Cyberpunk. I mean, I really haven't played Rise. I'll probably like it, but there's a definitive line between
What game is the shortest on this list?
Cyberpunk by
Is
a
it?
country mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Cyberpunk is like 20 hours long. It's
Yeah.
not long.
It's not, yeah. I finished it.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you, without looking into any of these games,
If I beat it,
they're all longer than 20 hours.
I've
I
heard
looked,
that
I
about-
looked up Rise, and it said 19, but they do a median. So
That's also like it's meant to be kind of an endless game.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, you can get a lot out of it as far as I meant story mode goes, though. But yeah, you're probably right.
I think Cyberpunk, if you don't do anything, I think it's like 12.
Oh, really?
It's really short.
you can.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the sets if you don't want to,
Mhm.
Okay.
and they don't gate you much or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Okay, so typically, according to former guest Andrew, this is the most fucked category of the year. It seems each time. Best fighting game. For the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat, they ended up with Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles.
Great.
Nailed it.
Thank you. It's a bit wordy there. I mean, at least I didn't have a whatever the fuck that thing was last year. Do you remember that?
Oh, Under Night in Birth?
Yeah. Well, what's the full title?
Under Night in Birth, late EXECL-R.
It's like having a stroke. Like
Coincidentally, they win the award for longest title.
yeah.
So.
All right. Sorry. So, Demon Slayer, Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, and Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Kind of, cheating a bit, but whatever. I mean, like, I was down when they did that with MK11 previously, so it would be hypocritical of me to. I guess it's my turn, but
There's not much discussion that needs
there's
to
not.
happen.
I found All Star Brawl pretty pretty disappointing, considering it's a great concept, and there's things in that title that they absolutely do right, but it's just the lack of budget it really showed in its presentation. And that's a bummer. Like,
there is not much that is done wrong in Guilty Gear Strive.
exactly.
The worst thing you can say about it is that its online lobby system's kind of bad.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
But it's Guilty Gear, and it's a great Guilty Gear
It's
game.
gorgeous, and it's fast and kinetic, and,
So-
and enjoyable to watch, even if you're not a fighting game
So
guy.
to jump the
that's,
gun-
that's my pick and bet.
Yep, same.
A good way to tell if a game's doing well or is being, received well
Mm-hmm.
is if it still has a healthy community.
Yeah.
And
Does All Star Brawl?
uh
There were some Melee
No.
folks that were on it, but I
They
guess
were.
no.
No.
yeah, they were, because it's like that community is dying
Yeah.
to get their hands on
I know.
something new.
Hey, maybe
and
metaverses next year. I
not
don't
seeing a
know.
whole lot of them still playing it.
Right.
People I follow on Twitch and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe, the casual fan group, college dorms, 5-year-old kids, whoever, whatever. I would have to bet Guilty Gear,
Mm-hmm.
both,
Yeah.
honestly, for those reasons.
There's
Good.
no reason
Andrew
not
won't
to.
kill us.
Yeah.
Guilty Gear Strive is an amazing game.
No, it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, not much else to be said really from us.
Mhm.
Now we're it's the opposite. Best family game. For the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. It's honest. It's like or the Nintendo Award, except It Takes Two. What the fuck? I mean, I guess you played it with your son.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I guess with values, it's so not.
It was weird.
Removed from the rest. Yeah, so
It's a co-op only game, man. What do you want from me?
Yep. Mario Party Superstars, new Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and WarioWare Get It Together. Boo. Yeah.
Is this me on this
Go
one?
for it.
I
Okay, Austin.
I played
Dude, fuck Nintendo.
I played a handful of these games, as Randy mentioned.
Yeah,
I played It Takes
I played
Two,
all of them but Snap.
with my son. A little bit weird, but if you strip away all the narrative,
Did he ask you any questions
it's
about
a
divorce?
huh? No, not really.
All right.
And that's good because I'm not really prepared to have that conversation at this point. But it was
as a co-op game, it's some of the best ever designed.
Yeah, honestly, it's so cool, and it's like strip all the narrative away, even though it's a huge
Utilizes
part of
split
the
screen
story.
so well. Yeah.
But I mean, that game stands on its own in every pace change and every environment change, every setting change, everything. But like, is it the best family game? No,
right.
no,
Yeah.
it's just not. It's just not.
I feel bad because that was one of the cooler things I saw through this year. But
Yeah.
so far I haven't picked it or chosen
Yeah, it
or
sucks.
betted on anything, and I don't.
Because I
know where
thoroughly
to.
enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
thought it was a fantastic game. But I think, listen,
There's
man.
stuff that is more
Listen,
tied
Mario,
to
yeah,
in the spirit
Pokemon
of the-
Snap, you're just taking pictures. How into it can you be? Not to strip it down to just that, but
I mean, that's what it was back in the 90s. I liked that game as a
Yeah,
kid, but
this is a nostalgia
got what you
bump
need out of it.
for
is,
a lot of Pokemon fans
Yep.
and Pokemon Snap fans specifically.
I
did not play WarioWare, but I can tell.
I'm not gonna. I'll
We are saving that for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I'll shorten it up here.
They fundamentally like ruined everything that makes.
So
those
it
games what they
basically
are.
comes down to a Mario board game or a Mario action, 3D platformer game. I'm just going to say I only really played, with the exception of the others, Super Mario 3D World, but that's just tacking on, a little extra content, couple hours worth of stuff. I don't know.
folks are
I'm
into
just
that.
going to go with that for both.
Okay.
I could see other things winning, but like I said, best family. I don't think It Takes Two.
Yeah,
Really, I mean,
That's
it's just
fair.
weird given the.
I get you. What also teen rated game, so family play.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Austin, what you
You guys are too focused on what family means. The nuclear family. No offense, you don't have to have kids to be a family. And also, 4 out of the 5 of these games can go fuck themselves right straight into the ground.
What?
It takes 2 for both.
That's fair. I guess I'm looking at
Here's
it
the
from
thing.
too much of a maybe narrow mindset, but
I'm a,
it literally
No,
is.
I was making a joke. Obviously, when they say
yeah,
family
yeah.
game, they mean like
Yeah.
kids playing.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
It's literally about a family.
The only
That's
good I haven't played it, but the only game here I can see having any shot in my mind is Mario Party Superstars.
I like Mario Party.
I haven't played it.
I'm a dum-dum.
I haven't played it.
Right.
And it's just a remake of a worse version of Mario Party 1, 2, and 3.
That's the problem. Because I did play a bunch of it. This is going to sound weird, but bear with me here. I was a fan of those games when I was a kid, the Mario Parties. And part of the good memories that you have from them is the, like, in the moment screwing over of people and kind of how, like, mean and chaotic and random that they can get, like, you have to embrace that. But actually, my time spent with Superstars, it's too friendly. To me, Mario Party at its best is when you are like,
Cutthroat?
You're cutthroat, yeah. And it's like
throwing down,
and this game is constantly just like
softening the edges.
Yes, yeah. Thank you. That's the best way I think I could put it. But I still had fun. You can't play 50 turns anymore. That's a bit of a drag. 30 is the max you can get. But of these, it would be the one I'd be most likely to play with a family. But my bet is going to be Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
So your pick is Superstar?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of get what you guys are saying with It Takes Two, though, because I want to pedestal it somewhere.
Yeah, no, and I do too. And I definitely like look at this category and go, best game to play with your family. You know what I mean? And it's like, I did play It Takes Two with my family.
It makes sense.
And it's and it takes place. The story is about a family, and it's like, I don't know. It's
maybe it's the most family game, really.
Yeah, realistically, it is honestly the most. So, It Takes Two is a fantastic game.
Yes.
Absolutely. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to Super Mario because I don't think it's winning this category.
That's my bet. My bet is 3D World, just because the Bowser's Fury seemed like experiment. It was like it's almost like telegraphing a tech demo for what an open world Mario game could be, and whether or not you like that or don't like that's. I think it's undeniable. Like, there are too many people in the industry that were just like paying $60 for a fucking DLC old pack? Game, just to play this this single part of it.
I don't mean to get all mad, but everything on this list that isn't It Takes Two is everything I fucking hate about Nintendo.
This industry,
no, Nintendo specifically. Like, fuck out.
Harnessing nostalgia.
Fuck out of here. With that shit,
but not in a
it takes.
good way.
I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't care if I lose the point. It Takes Two is my both.
All right.
Yeah. No.
And
totally understandable.
Last thing I'll say, I think Earth Defense Force World Brothers should be in here because they family-ified. A series for adults. For like, I don't.
You guys have played all of them, right?
I unabashedly, unironically, really dig those games, and I don't know if you've seen World Brothers, but it's a voxel. It's all cutesy and ridiculous, and they've changed the way that getting new characters and weapons work, and it's a quicker game. It's actually to me, it kind of let me down in other way. It's not totally what I want out of an Earth Defense Force title, but like it is. I can see kids just like having a blast with it because it's so arcade style, and it's a much quicker game, and the dialogue is funny. It's very self-referential, does not take itself seriously. It's that
might be a good game to cool down with my son.
Totally, yeah, and it's you can play it with 4 people.
After the
I also think that Nickelodeon should be here if anything.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
no, I agree.
Yeah, I think the people are going to judge that game the most harshly or not. Wouldn't be the audience that this category really is speaking for.
Right.
Best sim/strategy, or the best game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. There's Age of Empires 4. I haven't tried it yet. Evil Genius 2, World Domination. Humankind, Inscription, and Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I know I've said this word twice already today, but cheating. That game won last year in this same category.
And this is because it came to
Xbox,
right?
yeah. Which I guess like if they found a way to make piloting like those planes like work that like organically on a controller, then that's no easy feat, but
but also the PC version that came out last year had controller support. So
then fuck them.
Yeah.
Because
I played it. I played it with a controller.
Right. All right. Well, then what the hell's it doing here? It just couldn't. I mean, even Inscription being here, as much as I love it, is strange. I'll take it.
It's a strategy game,
right? But I think there's so much more to it than that, and I just wouldn't classify. I mean, I don't know. It's tough to place like where something like that should fit, but it seems totally at odds with everything else surrounding it.
I mean, would you be upset
if
it didn't win Best Indie and it won this instead?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll be upset if it loses anything and it's nominated for.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But because, I
feel the same way.
Inscription's my pick, obviously, but my bet, I'm going to bet against it again.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why I keep doing this. I'm going to say Age of Empires 4.
You're a better man than me.
Yeah, you know what? Inscription.
There you go.
Nope. Yeah, I can't. I've already done it once tonight. So
Okay.
pick and bet. Inscription.
Me?
Yeah, you can go next.
Inscription's the only game I played on this list. Wasn't a huge Age of Empires player.
I
fan.
was growing up, but just
Right.
with 2.
Right.
Yeah, like
And I missed that boat.
yeah
Don't know very much about Evil Genius 2.
played the first one.
Same thing with Humankind. And I never dipped my toes into the flight sim,
Yeah, that's
personally.
that's a tough pull to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, not to be boring on this one, I'm just probably going to copy you. Because
Hey.
Inscription was great and
More the merrier. In the Inscription
more of an
family.
excuse for me to pick it.
Doke. Explain. Is it because why is driving a car a sport and flying a plane a sim? Can somebody explain that to me?
Perfect. Yes. No, I can't.
It's because I get it. It's because there's racing, there's
Right.
competition in Forza, but like,
Where would where would you stick a plane racer?
There's
it
too
would
much-
be sim strategy, right?
Yeah.
But
There's
like,
too many accessibility options to make it arcadey.
Yeah, I guess.
So it's not a real simulation if you put all those sliders
Sure.
on the wrong side.
I'm gonna go with Randy's original idea. I'm gonna say Inscription is obviously my personal pick, and I'm going to say Age of Empires 4 is my prediction.
Okay,
All right.
that's fair.
Last for the genre awards is best sports / racing game. For the best traditional and non-traditional sports and racing game, redundant there, but yeah, we got F1 2021, FIFA 22, Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels Unleashed, and Riders Republic.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're going to refrain from talking too much about Hot Wheels Unleashed because I got a bunch of shit to say about that
I
game
do
that will
as
come
well,
up in
yeah.
Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Y'all are dumb out there listening.
No, it's yes, but also desperate. And I'm in that camp who's desperate for
Desperate,
arcade
yeah.
racers, but I'm not resorting to the
So I'm going to
to
throw
the likes of that and Cruisin' Blast.
I'm gonna throw a little
fuckers.
curveball your way. What do you think I'm going to pick for personal?
Forza.
Wrong.
Right.
I'm going to
Riders?
say Riders
Fuck
Republic.
The attitude of that game makes me want to hang myself.
And it's only because I think that Forza is a much better game.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that it's just Forza Horizon 4 again with a new
Yeah.
map, and I think they did a
pretty
really good
derivative.
job. But I think that Riders Republic is just steep with BMX bikes, and having played both that and steep, they really turned that
Into
around
something.
into being
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Riders Republic.
I would vote.
But
Personal?
I'm going to say I'm going to say Forza for my vote.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you were picking riders for prediction, you're going against everything that I've read about that game because
I would vote for Riders if nobody in that game spoke and no one was allowed to dance. Then maybe I'd.
You know you can floss in Forza, right?
Yeah, I know that. Trust
You can
me, I
floss
hate
on-
that too.
You can floss on top of like Mexican, ancient Mexican pyramids too.
You know what's
It's way more
You know
disrespectful.
what's great about Burnout? There isn't a single character model.
That's not true. They did the bikes in
Oh,
Paradise.
that bike DLC wasn't great. But I just remember, like previously, and even in Paradise, if your car was all fucked up and the doors flit, there was no driver. It was
Dude, I
awesome.
can't wait for Burnout
I don't
to
want
finally get a sequel and for it to have like cosmetics and so I can do like the chicken dance from Arrested Development after like my character model just appears flossing when I take down someone. It'll be great. Anyway, what's your pick?
If you turn that into Carmageddon and I can run people over while they're flossing and have them explode into like blood and guts and stuff. Then maybe,
No.
What are we talking about? Oh yeah. Forza.
okay. I'm gonna be the weird one here. I played.
Because I played a bit of Forza. It is cool.
I played a little bit. You know what sucks about it is it's getting so much attention and so much praise.
I think it is currently the highest rated game of the year, according to Metacritic.
Right, and it just, it doesn't appeal to me. And
I mean, it doesn't appeal to me either.
And it almost feels bad because it's like I hear so many good things,
I know.
and I want to experience that and understand that. Right?
It's not going to change your mind.
Right.
I think that's because by all accounts, the people that love that kind of thing are like super into it. But if it's not going to pull you to the other side,
right?
They did a lot of refinement from Forza Horizon 4 to Forza Horizon 5 for the people that like Forza. But it's still for the people that like Forza.
Right.
So
I think my biggest issue is, and I said this to you guys in Discord the other day, what it was like, I played the first like hour or so, and this setup of everything that you're doing seems at odds with the systems, where it's like your cars are unrealistically flying off cliffs that are hundreds of feet in the air and then bouncing onto the ground, and you're getting dropped out of planes and stuff like that, and you're like, cool, that's rad, it's a good time, but then why have like all this brake check like shit, like they're leaning into like not enough, like go all the way, like to me it's just this like Man Without a Country kind of thing where it's like, okay, I they want to appeal to everyone, but just the way that the DNA of how these are built doesn't lend itself to the arcade side over the sim side. It doesn't matter how like fucking rocking the like all the crazy bright colors and music and flying through off jumps and stuff. But
I'll make this relatively short. F1 niche,
very niche.
FIFA, from what I understand, the community is not loving maybe everything. It probably has diehard fans that will always.
I didn't know
love
if FIFA was a game. I
dedicated.
thought it was just a money laundering service.
Yeah, no, I think I heard something about that too. At Hot Wheels, I didn't play it. I'll need you guys to fill me in. I did play the beta for Riders.
Did
you? I didn't jump into the full release, but I enjoyed what I played.
It's fun.
Do I think it's going to beat out Forza?
No,
absolutely not.
No.
And Forza's just. Unfortunately, I'm going to give it another shot because I basically turned the game off when I got cut loose. So maybe it goes places from there. So I'm probably going to jump back in and see if it'll stick with me. But like you said, if it doesn't, I shouldn't try and force it.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
Shouldn't try and force. Damn it.
Forza I would like to see Riders win this. There's no way that it happens.
So is that your pick? Personal pick is Riders?
Yeah.
Hey, who knows?
I had more fun with it.
Yeah, same.
It's funny also sports and racing being together is always.
That's because sports games suck ass now.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
You need to have toss a skateboard in there and get me to pay attention. But
I love hockey. I haven't bought an NHL game in like 5 years.
Actually, from what I hear, all the EA stuff is like
bad.
Yeah, they're not doing what they used to do.
Topic we were talking about before with the licensing rights.
Yeah,
right.
It's so funny what happens when you don't have to try.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to have some shit to say here. It's best multiplayer game for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. Because, why it just got to be online?
Yeah.
Fucking industry.
The wave of the
People
future.
Need to get some friends. Anyway.
Well, there was a pandemic. So maybe they're taking that into consideration. I say it like it's past. We're past.
No, it's over. Anyway, Back for Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. 6 titles listed here.
Is this one me?
Yeah, go for it.
Which actually, real quick, when we were talking about It Takes Two, I forgot that it was here as well because I didn't play it as an online game. I assume you didn't either. But,
no, I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Split screen.
Right, right. I totally forgot, I guess, from... Was it the same way in A Way Out?
Yeah.
With the pass thing?
Or no, we both use Game Pass.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. So
I honestly thought we would both get our own screen, but that's part of the fun of it.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
But I didn't make it through all of A Way Out, so I don't remember all that well.
I did.
Yeah, I mean, I played everything but 2 games on this list, being Knockout City and Monster Hunter Rise. Austin, you were mentioning how we should give it a go, Knockout City.
Yes.
I'd be down to do that.
That is on Game Pass now, right?
It's on EA Play, technically.
Yeah.
You might not be able to play it.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
God.
Call
EA
back
strikes
to
again.
Whoops.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I want to make this one point. Given when Valheim released, and we were really in the dredges of, lockdown and pandemic, I voted for that because I did play this with friends. It was a fun experience.
I didn't know you were that into it. You got to bring it up on Game of the Year with Matt. He was like,
I didn't spend a crazy amount of time with it.
Breathe Valheim for a while. There.
Right. So he's probably gonna have a lot more to say than me.
Yeah. It's better than any of us that have like nothing to say yet. So.
And taking that into consideration, given the release time and what was going on, I think my personal pick would be, because I didn't vote for it in family, I'm gonna go It Takes Two, because I do want to nominate something for an award here. Because I honestly, given the way that I approach family game, I do agree with Austin. I'm not a huge fan of like Nintendo's approach to games these days, especially considering that's an older game that they just re-released and tacked on a couple hours of extra shit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna nominate that for best multiplayer, because that's everything about that game.
Yeah.
Co-op.
It's the whole,
more than one is multiple, so it's two. But I will say I'm gonna try and guess that people are going to take that into consideration when voting judges, but I'm going to go vote prediction Valheim.
Okay.
Interesting. My pick and bet are both It Takes Two. I think that game is excellently paced and brilliantly crafted. I think, Sean, you were saying the other day, like it never spends too much time doing one thing before it pulls you into something new, and it's
keeps it fresh constantly.
Yeah,
that's so hard to do.
That shit is great. It might be the best split screen cooperative experience I've had since Portal 2, maybe. Yeah. So like that's absolutely my number one here. But
close second.
Well, I mean, it's funny because a lot of part of the reason I was kind of begrudgingly saying like that it was leaving out sort of in-person experiences is because it's like when I think about a lot of the other multiplayer stuff I was hot into this year, it was like House of Ashes and Jackbox and even Mario Party. It's like I guess we did EDF World Brothers Online. And nobody else played this, so this is gonna be like my one game that I'm gonna probably bring up in December. But Pac-Man 99 was like, I'm sure I've been plenty on record here of like my love of Tetris 99, and I liked that Mario one until they fucking wiped it from existence for whatever reason. Regardless of my problems with it, my number two would be Back 4 Blood.
Right.
I did not play Knockout City. I've heard cool things, but I can already say Monster Hunter and New World wouldn't be for me.
Yeah, having played New World.
Oh, right, you did play New World. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll keep it simple. It Takes Two for those two. I'm
going to say It Takes Two for both. I'm going to say personally, I think Knockout City for competitive multiplayer. Right. If Halo is not eligible,
I guess
because Halo is the best competitive multiplayer I've played in ages.
It goes without saying that Halo would have already come up numerous times if it was eligible.
But yeah, I think I think It Takes Two is going to take this easy, and I agree. Although shout out to Knockout City, also I guess technically it doesn't to bring up one of Andrew's soapboxes for him since he's not here.
Okay.
I understand that fighting games are probably kind of excluded from this category, but the rollback netcode on Guilty Gear feels phenomenal. Mm-hmm. In an era where a lot of fighting games are not doing that kind of shit, and in an era where Nintendo is actively dissuading people from playing versions of Melee that have rollback implemented,
Yeah.
It's good to see a multiplayer game. It's good to see a fighting game that understands where we're at in this current day and age and really works to make their online feel as good as possible.
It's going to be essential.
Yeah. And also shout out to Forza because I didn't get to try it, but their multiplayer features seem very cool.
Right.
They have like that caravan mode or whatever where you can up to 10 people can join in the same open world and just drive around and it'll just
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that sounds very cool.
All right. But yeah, more emphasis on local multiplayer and party games, Mr. Geoff. If you listen. Best debut game. Not from Subway this time. It was with their sponsors.
Nothing.
All right. For best debut game created by a new independent studio. Up for it is The Artful Escape.
Best debut indie is the title.
Oh, best debut indie?
Is the actual title
Okay.
of the category.
The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, finally, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Sable, and Valheim. You want to go first?
Sure.
I don't mind going last.
Personal pick is Forgotten City.
Same.
It's so good.
Yes. And we will talk extensively about that game, I'm sure,
Yeah.
as well, because that's a difficult one to describe without kind of
It's a
giving
little
it all
iffy in
away.
this category because they kind of proof of concept it with a mod. But
Years
like,
ago, apparently. It was,
Yeah.
it was a Skyrim mod in like 2015, and then...
I still have to play Kenna, and I kind of want to try Sable as well. I know you said you've been playing it recently.
Yeah, just before I drove over here to record, I got maybe an hour into it, and yeah, I'm finally kind of cut loose. So I don't. It's interesting. I can see myself sticking with it, but I can also see myself kind of fading fast.
Yeah, and I did not personally like Valheim at all, but my prediction is Valheim. I think what you said about the last category,
Mhm.
like you can't deny the impact that Valheim had at a
Totally.
time when it was very important, and I think that
will
like
people remember it if it's still on
Yeah.
the radar?
I think people will remember it more than the rest of these.
Unfortunate too, because
I agree.
if it weren't for your recommendation and bringing up the Forgotten City, and
Yeah, that's
honestly,
why I played it.
the very low barrier to entry with it being on Game Pass,
Yes.
I probably wouldn't have checked it out. And I'm so glad that I did.
If it wasn't
Yeah.
for fucking 12 minutes being absolute dog shit, none of us would have checked out Forgotten City.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
the only reason I played Forgotten City was everybody's like, if you were disappointed in 12 minutes,
Play
play
this
Forgotten City.
instead.
It's
Right.
better. And
Yeah.
they're right. It's
Yes.
so much better.
And
Yeah.
executes on that concept better as well. And is just so much more of a streamlined of an experience. We'll get into the tedium and the
Yeah.
But like
the storytelling of 12 minutes another
But
time.
like just every aspect of Forgotten City, like I understand that it's a full release of a Skyrim mod, but like if that studio wants to keep writing fucking weird mystery games like
Yeah.
that, I'm all for
Sure.
it. And I will follow them after this because that was so brilliantly written and I loved it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where in that beginning, I didn't know if I was going to stick around.
Yeah.
I was having.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I was pretty on board with the first act, but I don't know if it was a bit too slow.
I don't know
for
what
you.
it was about it. I think I expected it to be something different, and I'm glad that I guess it hooked me in right as I was about to, kind of wane on it, because I'm so glad that I did, because by the end I was totally surprised. Like really, really, really good game. Like I said, I wouldn't have checked out otherwise, but having played everything on this list, like I said, Sable.
Oh, did you play Sable?
He's playing it right
Oh, you're
now.
playing it right now.
Yeah,
I wanted to try it because I know that is a Game Pass game as well, and I've heard mixed reception when it comes to like the moment to moment gameplay, but it's like really pretty to look at.
Yeah. It's interesting. The art
frames
style,
of animation and stuff like that.
It reminds me a little bit of Aeon Flux. Dating myself here.
That's right. Where was this in art direction?
Yeah.
Oh, Aeon Flux.
Yeah, it's a little
Class B Chupa.
little weird, but
MTV.
I would say
Gonna bring up Liquid Television next, or just
for personal,
we're old.
For personal, yeah. That's basically what I was getting at. I'm old as shit. For personal, it, like I said, Valheim wasn't to me what it was to a lot of other people, I think. Kena, Bridge of Spirits. God, I want to nominate this thing, but it sucks. It's sitting right next to the Forgotten City. Because, like, walking away from both of these games, as I mentioned to you guys before, there was a part in Kena that frustrated me.
Right, yeah.
That kind of let me down. So I'm going to go personal pick Forgotten City. Yeah, man, I should have probably used that Valheim for this.
You can do it too.
I'm going to, you know what? No. I'm going to try and play the game again where I'm, guessing what the judges are going to do. I think Kena's going to win here.
Okay.
All right.
Kena, whatever.
Originally, so my pick is also Forgotten City, and I was going to go with Valheim as my bet, but just to shake things up, I'm going to stick with my gut, and also I'm going to say Forgotten City for both.
Okay.
Let's
That's
give
a
it
fair,
shot.
yeah. I mean, like,
Let's see what
ultimately,
happens.
realistically, do I want that to win? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we all do. I think Austin and I, we're kind of playing the game,
Yeah.
and we're trying to, get them points.
Content creator of the year for a streamer or content creator who has made an important and positive impact on the community in 2020.
Oh, man.
I think we should skip this one
Yeah.
in terms of predictions. We can talk about it, but like I don't
have a pick.
I don't watch any of these people.
Yeah, I don't either.
There seems to always be a very specific type of entertainer that they're looking for. Like, not to discredit anyone, but traditional video editors seem to get left behind if they don't stream. And that bugs me.
Yeah, so...
Because where's, there's too many missing to name. Like, where's Scott the Waz and Dunkey and Stop Skeletons and Gaming a Story? All these fucking channels that, do a fantastic job of...
Yeah, was Dunkey ever nominated for this?
No.
That's insane.
That's robbery.
I know,
That's
considering the
absolutely
reach.
insane.
Like...
Yeah.
And especially given the spat he had earlier in the year with Dream.
Who is nominated. Yeah.
I know...
Snaky Jakey was never nominated either.
I only know Dream because of the drama.
That's the
year.
only reason I know the Minecraft shit.
With the exception of that, I know Gauls. I don't know how to pronounce it. He is also not native English speaking as well. He's a CS streamer. He does a lot for the CS community. Those are the only two I have any personal.
I know Dream because of the drama, and I know Fusely. I've seen her on other people, like as a guest on other people's streams. She seems cool.
Do you know the other two? It's Abai and Gref.
Gref, I know.
Yeah, he had a big Fortnite event.
Yeah.
Got a skin.
None of these people are perverts, right?
As far as I'm aware, no.
All right. Well, good on.
But also, shout out, why the fuck is Ludwig not on here?
Yeah. Come on, considering what he did this year?
Considering
with the fucking Forever stream?
This whole year has been a blur.
Yeah.
Subathon was this year.
Subathon was this year.
That
It was
this
in
year.
March.
Okay.
It was in March into April. That is insane that he is not on here.
I didn't even think about that. And it's, looking at their previous winners, with the exception of Greg, and maybe I'm missing some other ones, but like I remember we were really excited because I think it was last year was Alana Pierce. The year before that was Danny.
Yeah.
And neither of them won.
Yeah.
But it was like, you have like a documentarian who's up against somebody who's like good at a MOBA or a shooter. Like, I'm like, you shouldn't be roped in together. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. But we can
maybe best content creation and then best esports athlete.
Yeah, or something. Like try and split it up between people that.
Wait,
that
actually, I think they did do that.
No, there are esports athletes. Sorry, I thought you were getting at like a content creator versus like a streamer, but that's tough. I don't know. There's a lot of people who do both.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird category.
I think it should go by how old your audience is.
Yeah. Do you know how many Minecraft stands are making 10 accounts to vote for Dream?
I have no doubt.
Them kids are fierce.
Well,
I just think like if you're gonna give the spotlight to streamers, there are obviously a lot of different people
that make different kinds
And
of
I know
stuff.
that this is voted on, but I like Ludwig not being there is insane to me.
Yeah.
Personally,
I think
especially with the subathon,
wasn't the first year Geoff nominated and he also lost, and he's like probably the most influential figure. But the Ludwig stuff is wild.
And I want to do a quick shout out. Somebody I discovered this year,
millions of people,
that I'm very upset that he's been creating content on YouTube and then started streaming years ago.
Penguins, yeah.
I actually that might have been late last year.
Yeah, Moist Critical should be on.
Yeah,
but I don't know if either of you are familiar, but I kind of want to do like a little mini shout out to Germa985.
Oh, I love Germa. Yeah,
Germa.
Who's that? I'm not familiar.
He did. Okay, so he did
the Dollhouse.
He did the Dollhouse stream, which is it was a live action Sims game.
Yep.
Where his audience got to vote with a Twitch extension built-in link on the site on what he would look like and what he would do. And
really?
Yeah.
Not only that, he did.
That sounds great.
He didn't. I don't remember again if it was late last year or early this year. He did like a treasure hunt in the middle of like Las Vegas in the desert, where he went to find his grandfather's like treasure that he had a map for, and then he was clowning on the whole like Pokemon meta that happened, where every streamer on the platform was using Pokemon cards. And he dug up like this really old, obscure fucking game called Grotto Beasts.
Inscription.
No, I'm gonna end right there because I could go on forever. The dude's fucking hilarious.
No, that sounds fun. I don't know why he's not on here.
Because that Dollhouse stream was like some of the funniest shit I've seen all year.
Dollhouse
from
was
a
great.
content creator. So,
also, shout out to Cutie Cinderella, Ludwig's girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
because she helped put on ShitCon and ShitCamp.
Yep.
Which were both phenomenal. Because TwitchCon got canceled.
Yep.
And also, she is one of the hardest working streamers ever. Her stream on, like, when the hot tub streamer meta, did you watch her stream?
Oh, you told me about this. Yeah,
she wore a full scuba suit. Oh, God, it was so... And then she took donations for... She was like, I'll change into a new costume every so many subs. And then it was just like a princess outfit. She found like a Cinderella costume, but wore it in the hot tub on top of a wetsuit. And then when that got taken away and they did the ASMR thing, she bought one of the yoga pants that has the padded butt. They're called TikTok pants. And she shoved a bunch of hoodies in it, so her butt was like a foot out from her body. And she just laid down and whispering into a mic, and she was like reading Bible verses but whispering. It was so funny.
That's fucking great.
It was so good. So shout out Cutie Cinderella.
Yeah. Not to discredit anybody who was nominated.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I will. It doesn't sound like anything they're doing was as fun as cool as this.
Yeah. But
interesting.
It's I don't have a dog in this fight.
No.
I don't really know.
Congratulations to whoever gets it. Just please don't.
I'm sure
a sex pest.
You're awesome, and your fan base really loves you, and I'm happy for you.
If I had to pick one, which we're not doing predictions, but I'm gonna go Fuslie.
Yeah,
just because being a woman on Twitch is fucking hard enough.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So, and she seems fucking cool from what I know.
And Twitch doesn't always make that easier either.
No.
All right, so let's just shoot through the next couple categories regarding the esports stuff. No disrespect to anyone nominated, of course. I just don't care. But yeah,
I have nominations for everything.
It'd be silly of us to vote on I don't know.
I'm not going to go into detail
without following it. Okay,
but yeah.
Best esports athlete. We have Chris Simp Lair.
Wait, isn't that word banned?
Well,
on Twitch.
Hio Showmaker Sue. Magomed Collapse Kalilov?
Yeah.
All right. And
Alexander Simple Kostylev.
And Tyson Tens.
No.
Yeah.
I watch CS.
Yeah, do you know any?
And I watch Valorant, and I was pretty heavily invested in both at the beginning of the year. Tens returning to competitive gaming and being probably one of the most insane aimers in Valorant is very hype.
Yeah.
However, Simple has spent a lot of time in the CSGO community, and he won a Na'Vi, the team that he plays for, won their first major. Well fought, well deserved. And on that alone, I'm voting Simple. I do not have any information or experience with any of the other aforementioned nominees. Hell yeah, go Simple.
Okay.
Love you, Tens, but go Simple.
I also noticed they don't have hosts this year, but we do have best esports team, in which it is the Atlanta FaZe, which they're COD players. DWG Kaya, that's League of Legends. Natus Vincier, Counter-Strike. Navi.
Yeah. That's what he was talking about.
Oh,
it's short,
okay,
shortened
sorry.
to Navi.
Yeah,
Shorter for Navi.
All right, CSGO and the Sentinels for Valorant.
Which is where Tens plays.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Team Spirit, Dota 2.
Yeah. Make it short and sweet again. Navi has been in competitive CSGO for years now. Different roster change-ups. You know, that sport is as cutthroat as real sports with team trades and picking up new players and shit like that. This team has been very fun to watch. I haven't caught everything, but again, watching them win a major was a big deal for them, for Simple. Sentinels is tight. North America catches a lot of shit because EU pretty much owns the competitive FPS scene on PC. So again, don't play League, don't play Dota, don't play COD competitively or follow it.
You seem to be much more tuned into this scene than me. Do you want to take best esports coach, because I'm just going to further embarrass myself?
No, yeah, you're good. Real quick, Navi, congratulations. Hope you guys win. If not, Sentinels is my second pick. Best esports coach.
Like, my ugly American is showing just way too hard.
Yeah, it's Ariat, Silent, Gaziev, Andriy, Eng, Sholikov, Andriy, Blade, Horodensky, or maybe Horodensky. Good, thank you. James Crowder. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And then Kim K. Koma. Yeah, Kim K. Koma Jonggun.
You still did.
Sorry.
No, you're.
I put like unnecessary accents on everything. I apologize.
I mean, you still did.
No ill intent. Again,
better than me, because I'm just bad at reading out loud in general. And once it's not in my native language, that just complicates it.
Again, just keep the Navi train rolling. Blade. They actually Navi just won Blast Premier for the fall final tonight. That ended, so they're on a winning streak.
Cool.
They're juggernauts right now. So.
And then I guess this will be best esports event that wasn't canceled.
Yeah.
What was? I wonder how they're going to handle it for 2022 if we're still in the same place by the end. But this is what was able to happen this year: the 2021 League of Legends World Championship, the International 2021, which is Dota, the PGL Major Stockholm 2021, the PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2020, and Valorant Champions Tour Stage 2 Masters.
Yeah.
So, I assume, did you watch
I watched a Stage 2 Masters. If I'm not mistaken, this was the one where Sentinels actually got knocked out. PGL Major Stockholm was the tournament that Navi won. I'm just going to keep the Navi train rolling.
All right, I'll vote International.
Yeah. I mean,
Wait, didn't the International get canceled this year?
I thought it did.
Yeah, I thought it did.
Well,
too.
we're not voting on
I have
this
no
one.
idea.
Yeah, whatever.
But now we have best esports game, which is something we can probably bet on. So, why not, right? There's it just says Call of Duty, not which it doesn't say Warzone or Vanguard. Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, and Valorant.
Is this one me? I can't remember. I lost track.
I don't know. I'll be quick. I'm just my personal pick, I guess, is whatever Call of Duty they're alluding to.
Yeah.
But my bet is Valorant, and But and I'll again cry that there's no Rainbow Six or Tetris on here.
Presented by Grubhub, by the way.
Yeah, presented by Grubhub.
Yeah,
Thank you.
For all those
Forgot
late
to-
night gaming sessions when you just need McDonald's.
But not presented by McDonald's, though.
Yeah, no.
No.
You
So
can get Chipotle.
Yeah.
jokes aside here, with Call of Duty, do they mean Warzone? Just say
They mean all of them.
How's that fit?
They mean Warzone. They
Well,
mean...
that's multiple games that play differently with different engines and different game types and
know.
communities, all in the
But
same
it's all the
fucking
same
launcher.
eSports league.
So wait, real quick though.
Oh.
Esports game, meaning competitive, meaning tournament hosted.
Yeah.
So that would specifically mean for Call of Duty, the competitive scene, not the Warzone scene, correct?
Yeah, I don't think they do Warzone tournaments. Do
No.
they? No.
If they do, it's all
but what-
personally hosted and
Oh.
stuff like that. It's like, oh, you
Well, then it's
Whatever
at
team
that
gets the
point,
most
then
kills.
it's an annual release. So are they fucking playing Modern Warfare? Are they fucking playing Vanguard? Or are they fucking playing Black Ops?
I think that's why it's just Call of Duty.
That's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
I hate
No, I
this. That's 3 different games with like different fucking
No, I
directors and
agree.
developers. Like,
Yeah.
fuck off. Choose one. Like,
No, but
so do they mean Dota 1 or Dota 2? It could be any of them.
it says do it too.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty was your pick, and I guess you're gonna be. That's your prediction.
No,
No,
I'm
Valorant.
gonna say Valorant.
Okay. Yeah, big year for Valorant. Not much more to be said. Riot also has a game on here. League of Legends been out for a while though. As far as best game this year, a lot of eyeballs were pulled from CS to Valorant. How the staying power of that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
My pick and prediction is Valorant.
Okay. My personal pick is Valorant. My prediction is League of Legends.
I'm
that Netflix show.
I'm so disconnected from
I just
that
think
genre.
I just think that MOBAs are just better esports games because they're easier to watch.
No, I get it.
First-person games are hard to watch.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
If you're not interested in the game or you don't play it
Yeah.
yourself, it is definitely. I totally understand.
What was your pick?
Both Valorant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, gentlemen, we are down to our final 3. I'm going to save the wacky one for after Game of the Year. But first, it's Game Direction.
Oh,
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. We have in front of us Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Game direction. My personal pick is Psychonauts 2.
Same.
My
Love you, Tim Schafer.
my prediction is It Takes Two.
Ooh.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you just recap the description one more time for me? Because it's not on mobile.
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Man, I'm the Returnal guy.
Mm-hmm.
And full disclosure, I voted Returnal.
What?
There's a lot of great games on here.
Yeah.
There's one not so great game. No, I'm just kidding. Ratchet who? I'm glad they get to go head to head though. Listen,
Yeah.
there's not much I can say and go into to explain my love for Returnal.
Okay, we'll do that later.
Yeah. So, but do I think it's going to win game direction? Probably not. Psychonauts and Deathloop are my 2 like standouts for the actual winner.
Okay.
I think every game deserves to be here, -1. I think that all fantastic games. My heart lies with Returnal. I'm
That's okay.
gonna do a Randy vote here.
Against your...
I think playing the game that Deathloop's gonna win this.
Okay.
Most nominated title. I think that stands for something.
So no, so the funny thing is I'm a combination of the two of you because my pick is Psychonauts 2. my bet is also Deathloop.
Okay.
I don't think It Takes Two is doesn't have a pretty good shot. Either. I think that's smart. Joseph Ferris is a pretty he makes himself a prominent figure in his games, and this is direction. This is like somebody and I think all of these games, with maybe the exception of Ratchet, are very particular. They're very everything in these games are on purpose. They're clearly a vision of somebody's intentions, and in the form of a video game. And so I would not be upset seeing any one of those top 4 take it. But I think this might be a situation where the game of the year and the best game direction are two different things, which isn't always the case. But other than that, I would have loved to see Village on here. 7 did get a nod for direction back in 2017, but at least it'll come up soon again. Otherwise it's you could say something similar about the cohesiveness of something like a True Colors, or also the fact that House of Ashes it has a director because it's being shot, but no, I think I'm gonna say Psychonauts 2 and bet Deathloop.
Gidok.
And with that, my friends, it is Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. The 6 nominees are Deathloop from Arcane Studios and Bethesda, It Takes Two from Hazelight and EA, Metroid Dread from Mercury Steam and Nintendo, Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine and Xbox Game Studios, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart from Insomniac and Sony, and Resident Evil Village from Capcom. They did it. Again, well, you know what? I'm just going to go first because it's Resident Evil.
You want to go last.
It's Resident Evil Village of these for me, with, since Inscription is missing. God damn it. But I love Village. I'll get deeper into that next time. But my bet is Metroid Dread.
Really?
Where are we watching the awards?
Here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta pick something to break.
Bring something with you.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna
like a
break.
vase.
Now I have to break something of Randy's.
Wait, why? I didn't say I wanted it to win.
Yeah, but you brought this into the world.
So I'm gonna be very, how can I say, simplistic in my choice. Personal.
Okay.
Best all-around experience, narrative, mechanically, setting, just a whole everything tie-in. Obviously, Game of the Year. It's everything factoring in. Damn. I'm gonna have to say Psychonauts.
Hey,
For your
all right.
personal?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think about how I walked away from each of these games, having beaten all of them.
Yeah.
Damn. Thank God we got a sequel. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't disagree in that in the slightest. We'll again. Sorry, I know I keep saying this, but the Psychonauts 2 success story is amazing that turned out.
And
let
me say this.
Yeah.
Let me say this. As a person who never played Psychonauts on original Xbox,
No.
played it this year.
Oh shit! Yeah, my roommate did the same thing. Right
Just to be ready, because I know the cult following it has,
and it starts right after.
Right.
Which is
So it was great. I beat it 2 weeks before it came out. Got to this one a little late, just trying to sew some other things up. Man, it doesn't.
It's
miss
a delight.
15
It's a
years in
delight.
difference.
Yeah.
Doesn't skip a beat.
No, and it feels like the best version of a 15-year-old game. It's the space is,
And it doesn't feel 15 years old.
No, it doesn't at all. But it also this type of game doesn't exist. I was messaging Austin and Chelsea after I first got into it, and I was like, I'm loving everything about this game, and I'm also kind of simultaneously depressed by it because I'm like, I'm not gonna get more of this elsewhere. Just the road that it took for this thing to see, a release was a lot. But
all of these games
Now,
are on here for a reason.
yes.
They're all fantastic, all great experiences. Shit, man. I'm trying. Like, playing the game is so difficult right now. Trying to decide what judges are going to pick and how to score points.
You're right. That is the game. Because like it's, if I didn't say it already, I don't think I did. I really appreciate Deathloop more than I like it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's fine. I just don't know if it's for me, like fully and, and completely, but I totally acknowledge and like
going from the ground up.
Respect that game.
What I would consider to be last place.
Well, I mean, that's
from judges. Well, not to be cruel. Like what I'm thinking.
I feel like we've already been pretty cruel.
What, Resi?
No,
Ratchet.
God, fuck off. Ratchet. It's funny because I don't think Resident Evil is going to win, but I'm happy enough just to see it here. But right. If I can do my best to remove the biasness of my love of the series for a minute, I think that game it's almost like 5 games in one. Because of just like each area that you explore kind of represents almost a different type of horror and a different type of game. And that's super cool to me. Yeah.
As a person who loves horror themes.
Yeah.
And, doesn't have a long history with the Resident Evil series.
Different tones and aesthetics. It's great.
Basically jumping in at 4 and then, I played Remake 2, Remake 3.
Man, I'd like to apologize for our childhood that I didn't somehow inflict you.
Yeah, no, a lot of Crash.
How did that happen?
A lot of Crash, a lot of Spyro.
I played those too.
A lot of misguided decisions on my own.
I did a disservice as your friend.
No, it's quite all right. I didn't surround myself with the best influences, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this is fucking tough.
I know, and I.
We get 5 points for this, right?
Even if it takes, that would be funny. Even if it takes 2-1, I would still be thrilled because I would love to see more of games of that style get made. Like,
and I get why you're saying Metroid. I get it.
Yeah. No, and I'm not even like. I didn't. I bet it. I haven't even started it yet.
I know why you're picking it, and it makes me so angry.
My vote,
why
Metroid.
I've been quiet.
Cynical.
No, I hate to keep doing it, but like. If I'm really looking at this list and going, what do I think's going to win? And I hate to keep saying it, but it's like the fact that Deathloop got so many nominations and Last of Us got so many wins last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know. I kind of feel like they have this almost, fake quality to the Game Awards in the sense where it's like it's the front runner and it's like it has to walk away with the most.
It does feel like the one with the most gumption behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mean to.
With Deathloop.
Deathloop was fine. It was fun. I thought it was a great game. I didn't walk away with it feeling the same way that I felt about Psychonauts, but I need to vote because I'm cutting into all of Austin's talk time. Shit, man. Yeah, I don't know. Freaking at Deathloop, I guess.
Okay.
Sad face.
No, this will be. I'm actually like I'm amped up for that night because I genuinely don't know what direction this is going to go in.
Yeah,
and,
it's very. It's a very divisive topic nomination.
I fully understand why you would pick Metroid Dread,
as do I.
but again,
to upset you,
my heart.
It hurts
for so many reasons for people to think that is the best game they played this year.
Right.
My only response, and I apologize to the audience if this offends you. My only response,
don't worry about that.
If you think Metroid Dread is the best game this year, is that you need to play more video games.
I agree.
It's not that good.
No, I agree.
I'm being hard on it, but like it does not, to me, belong. I think it gets in there because Nintendo made it.
Oh, I think it gets in there not just because Nintendo made it, but also it's Metroid.
Nostalgia.
Where if this was branded as a completely different thing,
being it Nintendo made it.
Yeah.
And like again, I apologize. I'm being more hard on it, and we'll get into it in Game of the Year. I don't think it's an awful video game. It frustrated me in ways I can't express in how much time I have, but I don't think that hangs. I've said it before. There are 2 3D platformers on here, which is great. We need some of those. It's a fun genre.
Yeah.
There's no. I have, and if you are a person who likes Ratchet more than Psychonauts, I can see where you're coming from. I disagree.
I do too. I mean, if you want a more action-oriented game, that's where you go. But
to me, my top 3 for the year, Inscription notwithstanding, because I still don't know how to order them, are Deathloop, Psychonauts, and Resident Evil Village. Not in that order. I'm just reading them in the order I have them here.
A horror game is up for Game of the
know.
Year. Like a horror title. That never happens ever.
And it wouldn't be the only one.
I know. Yeah.
To go off of Sean's point about like how the game made you feel. Actually, my top 5 for the year is Inscription plus 4 of these, because it's Deathloop, Psychonauts, Resident Evil Village, It Takes Two, and Inscription in no particular order.
I mean, this is the first game of the year, since 2016, that all 6 games nominated are something that I have played or am going to play. That's like, so,
and
that says something.
It's tough. It's really tough because I go back to what you were saying about how those games made you feel, and it's not fair.
I mean, Psychonauts 2 is the most emotional game.
You're gonna hate me for saying this, but It Takes Two is a phenomenal video game, but it is a little bit exploitive because you have to experience it with somebody else, which leaves you with a great feeling afterwards, and that's the point of it.
Right.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
Resident Evil Village, I came out of the hospital, and that was the first game I played because it came out the day I went into the hospital, and all I could think about in the hospital was that I wanted to play Village.
Poor soul.
Yeah. Brilliantly paced.
Psychonauts 1 is one of my top probably 25 games of all time, and Psychonauts 2 is better in I think literally every way.
I think Psychonauts 2 might be my second favorite 3D platformer ever. Only behind Mario 64.
And you know what else is in my top games of all time? Dishonored.
Yeah.
And I think that Deathloop is Dishonored, but better in every way.
Deathloop, or it's Dishonored with guns and time loop.
Dishonored has guns.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Dishonored has gun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Sorry, I did knife only runs. Just kidding.
I did not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut Village. Because I think that
there's no
shot it wins.
Unfortunately,
I know.
it's again, like, we could sit here and gush.
No,
it's
like
fucking phenomenal.
We don't have to get into it.
It's good to be here.
I'm talking about what I like. I think my personal pick, Psychonauts, is my personal pick because it's so fucking good in every aspect.
Was that all of
it's
us?
near perfect.
Oh no, Resident Evil was yours.
That was my pick, but Psychonauts is close.
Yeah.
But here's this is where I really want to know.
Yeah.
So I was torn between 2.
Okay.
For the sake of making it interesting, Sean took my 1 because it was going to be Deathloop.
All right.
So I'm going to say Game of the Year, It Takes Two.
Dude, if a co-op game wins, a co-op only game wins Game of the Year, that would be fucking...
That's my prediction because
dope.
I was even leaning a little bit more towards Deathloop for the same reasons that Sean was, just because, like, it's the most nominated, whatever. Yeah. I just think that, like...
I mean,
don't they discount, marketed its pants off.
I just don't discount how good of a game It Takes Two is, combined with the fact that it was a online game that worked online that let you play with people who didn't buy it.
Yeah.
And it
that's very consumer friendly.
Yeah, and it also forces forces
Yeah, that's right. It was like $40.
It forces split screen even if you're online. So I think that, like, people being locked down when that game came out but still having to play split screen with their friend,
so you can
I think,
feel like they're next to you.
And on top of that, it's a phenomenal video game. So I think my guess is It Takes Two.
It's actually kind of funny because Deathloop, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank, and Resident Evil all had other nominations elsewhere, much more than Dread. Dread just had 2, I think.
Action Adventure in this?
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's see how much, like, art and music and sound and, direction of multiplayer can go. Because, in competition with it.
Metroid Dread is just, for the purposes of this, the reasons I don't want Metroid Dread to win is it's emblematic of everything I don't like about Nintendo, and it's also emblematic about...
It's the least risky of any of this stuff.
It's emblematic about
playing it
everything I
safe.
hate about this industry and where we're going in terms of difficulty. The Dark Souls effect, but I think that Dread is worse at that than Dark Souls even
It's
is.
more inaccessible.
Yeah, and like, when you consider that against It Takes Two, which is... so accessible.
Oh, it's so forgiving.
Psychonauts 2, which is accessible. Village, which is even accessible if you're not if you don't pee yourself, like how fucking scary it is. And then, Ratchet and Clank also, and Deathloop is the hardest one out of everything but Dread, and it's like not even close to as hard as Dread is.
Yeah.
Right.
The last thing I'll say about Metroid, and I'm saying this as someone who hasn't played it yet and grew up a Metroid fan, those old games to me had an essence about them. There was like an aesthetic, but like games have evolved so much, not just since that genre, but like in forms of like storytelling and in art and in animation and I'm just not seeing enough flexing of any of it's playing it so safe. It just seems like
When you
they
go
made
back-
it for the fans, and the fans should have something, but this is like...
I understand why people like Metroid Dread, but
I do too.
I'm just saying, like, from...
And whatever, maybe I'll play it and I'll come back on December and be like, this is fucking rad as
I'm gonna
shit.
punch you if you do that.
Who knows?
Not to bias you, but I will...
As a
Shout in
fan
your
of
I mean, be like, this slaps, and then you're going to slap me.
As a fan of Metroidvanias, not all the way back to Super Metroid, but like basically starting with Symphony.
That's
and
the best
then
one.
Playing all the handheld ones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All the handheld ones. And then seeing what the genre turned into with, Samus Returns and Mirror Fate or whatever.
Mirror of Fate, no.
And Mercury Steam being at the helm for like more modern Metroidvanias.
It wasn't a good show at first.
I definitely would say my expectations were, we're going into this, we're low. I enjoyed the experience. Do I think it's the best game to come out this year? No.
That's my argument. I don't think Metroid's a bad game. I just don't think it's Game of the Year.
Right. Yeah. And but I will say it feels, this game coming out from Nintendo is almost like it's almost like not a validation, but like a love letter.
Yeah.
To those days.
I think it's,
you know what I mean?
It is like out of character in at least in that like element. I don't know. The most likeliest scenario is that I'm going to play this and be like, this is kind of cool, and then it's going to kick my ass, and then I'm gonna drop off.
Also,
I mean, you guys are both better at games than me, and if the difficulty is like that aggressive of a problem, and I'm not having fun,
no, I had my issues.
I have no problems putting it down and walking away.
Not even just with. I'm not going to get into it. I had my issues with it from the very begining till the very end.
I'm sure this will come up more on Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
absolutely.
just also one last thing, which is that I have this little chip on my shoulder. They called it Metroid Dread.
Well, that was because that was the leaked.
I know, but like all the trailers were like, this is a different.
Yeah, it's
Metroid.
going to be like moody.
It's like moody and atmospheric, and there's like horror elements to it, and it's like when
on paper, I was like, hell yeah.
When a 4-year-old comes up to you and goes boo, and you have to go, oh my god, you scared me. That's what this game is. If you thought Metroid Dread was scary or atmospheric at all, play Village.
Yeah, if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's got less shock factor than like a Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Yeah.
So last but not least, as a bonus point, they're once again doing the poll for the most anticipated game. That the hyped up hotness not yet released.
Yes, and this is all fan voted, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Presented by Prime Gaming, by the way.
Who's
BT
that?
Dubs, Amazon Prime.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, they're giving out free games, actually good ones.
Oh.
They gave out Control recently.
Yeah, Control.
Oh, that's cool.
That's been given out on every platform.
Oh, yeah.
They've picked for us Elden Ring. It's back. Which, speaking of, God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel, the only new addition here is Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll see. I get like, it's just funny. Much of this was delayed, but I mean,
Are we doing personal and?
We'll do personal after. Well, all right, yeah. Of these, what are you guys the most excited for? I mean, is Elden Ring the only one with a? Well, no. Elden Ring and for Horizon both have a date.
Yeah, early next year.
The last two games might as well not be real. Like it's.
Yeah. Starfield has a date.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
When is it?
11/11/22.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Fuck you.
Yeah, they're doing this guy.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Maybe having Microsoft money will help, iron out some of those kinks. Doubt it.
You know what the funny thing is?
Sorry.
My pick of these is Starfield, not because I care about that game, but I want to see what
Space looks
It
like.
is?
through
I
their
want to see
eyes.
what it is. Like in that,
Yeah.
like when you look at the state of Bethesda in 2021, people are kind of wised up against the formula, and they have no choice but to shake it up. And then because 76 happened, and it's like Elder Scrolls 6, I guess it presumably is, and it's still in its early stage of development. Like there's a lot riding on this game for that company, and I want to know if they're gonna like commit to it. Like imagine that comes out and it's not a janky, broken, or annoying mess like 76 was. Like, what if they hone in their storytelling and some of their technical craft and it's... But, like, because we haven't seen gameplay,
Hey, you know what?
so...
There's a game that came out this year that surprised me and exceeded every expectation under Microsoft, and that was Halo.
Yeah.
Now, the single player experience remains to be seen, but I'm hearing nothing but good things again.
Same here, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a different take.
Yeah.
On the Halo franchise.
Yep.
So, let's hope maybe the Microsoft influence, they're going to just start shitting out gold for all these, long-running franchises, or, in this case, not a long-running franchise, but new direction for a, company that's been around for a long time. Yeah, let's hope Starfield can do something.
And my bet is Elden Ring.
For the memes.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, the people have gotten to play it, right? And there's been a lot of chatter of how good their time was with those demos. So, and it's also coming out the soonest where it feels like real. So if you're fan voting, like, this game is like a month out, right? Or 2 months out.
January 25th?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm...
As opposed to like a Breath of the Wild 2, which, everybody is looking forward to, but...
Was Ragnarok pushed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so is Horizon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So...
I couldn't remember if they had a 2021 date for Ragnarok or not.
I completely agree in terms of... I was actually going to say the same thing for Starfield.
Yeah.
I want to know what it is, but I don't want to
I know what the rest of these are.
I don't really want to play it.
You mean Outer Worlds?
I don't know if I have like faith in it. I didn't realize that
Wow,
that
I
game
spelled
is,
Ragnarok wrong.
that game is set for like 2023. It's not even next year.
Yeah.
But
which
my
surprised me.
personal pick is God of War Ragnarok.
Mhm.
Because I am
More than Forbidden West, huh?
Yeah. I feel bad, but I don't really care. I'll play Forbidden West, but like I care way more about a sequel to God of War than I do about Horizon.
Well, I guess once you find out the once you figure out the mystery of Horizon, that there's
Yeah, I
This is
feel
my
like that
assumption that
didn't
there's
need a
less of-
sequel, but God of War did.
does, yeah.
Yeah. And then in terms of my bet, where you're going with a vote and
Yeah.
you're betting
It's us versus the world.
you're betting Souls fans versus Nintendo fans, and to me that is an unpredictable.
Oh, what a war!
Yeah.
That is an unpredictable war
Yeah.
there, but I cannot in good conscience, and I hope people will follow me on this, I cannot in good conscience vote for something that is called the sequel to Legend
It
of Zelda
doesn't have
Breath of the Wild. It doesn't have a name
No,
yet.
we'll see it on this stupid thing next year again.
Yeah. So I am also going to go Elden Ring.
Yes.
I think that you're battling the hype of Nintendo fans versus the hype of Souls fans, but those Souls fans have seen previews and have played it, and it's coming out in
Exactly.
2 months, so
Yeah.
or 3 months. So yeah,
You don't miss. He doesn't miss.
What are you thinking of these?
Um,
Or it's 5, not wait. Is it 6?
no, it's
5.
3.
Oh, it's 5.
It's 3 to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I like just everything you said about Starfield. Listen, I wasn't the biggest fan of Breath of the Wild.
I mean,
I just
it
didn't.
wasn't
I
for
didn't.
me
I didn't
either,
have the stamina personally. I didn't. Have, my stamina meter ran out.
but- You didn't have the encumbrance.
Yeah. So
my enthusiasm broke.
yeah.
It started raining.
My enthusiasm degraded, much like the weapons in the game.
Listen, I'm a big PlayStation fan. Horizon was incredible.
Prestige thing.
The first one.
Mm-hmm.
God of War was incredible.
Yep.
Elden Ring is of course, a Souls game.
Mm-hmm.
With a new spin on it. George R.R. Martin is involved in some capacity.
Is he?
No.
As I finish this wine.
Shit. I'm gonna say my pick, not my prediction first. Elden Ring. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited for this, and
Delayed.
hopefully I will get my hands on that premium collector's edition that they have yet to put up on their sale on Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good freaking luck. But my personal, I'm really looking forward to playing Elden Ring. Personal doesn't fucking matter. Horizon.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yay. Just I'm different.
So this might be a fun thing to end on. Besides these, what are you guys most excited for, irrespective of this list? It can be the same. Like, you can still, Elden Ring can still be your most anticipated. But if, assuming that, you know, that you felt that there was a slot should have been reserved for something more personal to you.
I gotta look up a list.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll say mine. I mean, there is a bunch of stuff, especially when you look at the E3 that we covered earlier this year. I really want to play Atomic Heart, Replaced, Stalker 2,
Yeah.
Harold Halibut, Somerville, that Alien Hominid Invasion game. I want to see what that. We were joking about this earlier in the kitchen, the Indiana Jones thing. That's the made by the Wolfenstein guys. Fallen Aces, that Evil Dead game, Pragmata, which just got delayed, Tokyo Ghostwire, which just got delayed. I mean, obviously the Dark Pictures. The next one is The Devil in Me, which is H.H. Holmes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was real jazzed about that. That like the setup for that. That's awesome. Dying Light 2, which was set for December, and that too got pushed. I want to see whatever the Dead Space and Skate reboots are.
Yep.
EDS 6, which I think comes out in Japan soon. There's Oxenfree 2, Stray, the Wolverine, Marvel's Wolverine. If everybody's big on Guardians, and
that's not coming out next
year.
year.
Not for a long time. Just like Metroid Prime 4. We were rapping about Hitman for recording as well, and that they're doing the helming that 007 project. Gotham Knights. Could be neat. I don't know what happened to the Harry Potter.
It's still coming.
Is it? Is Vampire 2 real? Is it?
Probably not.
No. But above all, Perfect Dark. I need to know what that is.
Hopefully we get information.
Yeah, which coincidentally it was announced at the Game Awards last year. Yeah. So we've now gone a full year with nothing new from it, and that first game is real near and dear to my soul, and I want to know what the fuck it's gonna be. And seeing how the way that Microsoft has bounced back with Halo gives me a lot of hope. That
really excited to get my hands on Overwatch 2. Just kidding. I could fucking
you
care
said
less.
that. I know.
Anything Blizzard's putting out,
I
I
have played more Overwatch than probably any game that's released in the last 10 years, and that wasn't even on my fucking list.
It was pushed to 2023, right?
Who cares?
That and Diablo.
Yeah, they both were.
I'm
curious, and they canceled BlizzCon.
I'm curious how post lawsuit Blizzard's gonna handle all that. No, I
mean that's a.
No, as a Diablo fan, yeah, I am interested in seeing what 4 actually becomes, if anything.
It'd be sweet if it was good.
Yeah, I mean, you rattled off a lot.
I did. I kind of sprung this on y'all. This was in front of me, mostly just because it was stuff that we discussed on E3, and I copied and pasted a bit.
I got 4 answers
for
you.
Lay it on me.
Yeah.
I want to multiverses.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah.
Project L is not coming out next year,
That's
but
the
I would
League
love to play that. That's
fighting
the
game.
League
Yeah.
fighting game. That looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Oh, I forgot.
I really want to see what Rocksteady is going to do with that.
Because I said Gotham Knights, but maybe I was flipping the two. Yeah.
I mean, they're both coming out next year, supposedly.
I know, but I just confused the two.
Uh-huh. And then I had another one, but I guess it's not important if I already forgot it. So, yeah, I guess those three.
Show me Joanna Dark, Jeff.
Yeah, for me, it's God of War. It was really hard to pick one. I just picked Horizon to be different.
Hey,
but
yeah.
Horizon, God of War, Elden Ring, obviously. There's a little one I just actually found out about called Martha is Dead, coming out early next year. It's going to be a photorealistic
What's that?
horror something.
Oh, yeah,
I like everything you're saying so far.
I think it's set in Italy. If I'm not
You
mistaken.
also reminded me of Abandoned.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
I'm sorry, Silent Hills.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as a joke as well. I'm ready to get 5 seconds of in-engine non-gameplay.
Fuck off with that shit.
Release.
I remembered my two. My more immediate two answers are Dying Light 2 and Sifu.
Yeah.
Oh, is Sifu the fighting?
Yeah,
What?
Absolver guys.
Okay. So no. What was the other one at E3 and it looked fucking dope? What was it? Really killer. Shit. Do you remember what I'm talking about? It was like Midnight Express or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Is that right?
No, Midnight Express.
Fight Express.
Midnight Fight Express.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. I love everything about the just like the look of that fucking thing. But
Yeah, man, it's hard because like, what's gonna get pushed
right,
into
that is the ultimate.
following year, and you know,
I mean,
That's
what
why-
Saints
that's
just
why-
got like a fucking.
That's why I have two separate answers. I think my immediate answer is Dying Light 2.
Well, because that game feels more real.
Because
And
that game feels real and feels like it's going to come out. And my long answer, if you could give me any game to play right now that's probably not even going to hit 2022, it would probably be the Rocksteady Suicide Squad game.
Mine is GTA 6.
Well, yeah.
jeez.
But that's our awards special. With thanks to Geoff Keighley for giving us an excuse to chat about the shit we've played for the podcast. And be sure to join us again in a couple weeks to hear how we scored, along with which one of us will be crowned victorious and get bragging rights, the totally knows everything about the games industry medal. Otherwise, if you would like to vote for yourselves, you can. It's just up on their website, as well as places like Facebook and Twitter, the same places you can find us. In fact, Austin, would you like to do the plugs for us? But
Yeah.
just one last time, if you were into this, please be on the lookout for our game of the year, especially if you're down to listen to some arguments. Hot Button's first ever, where 5 of us will duke it out for our own personal winners together. So it should be a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. You can find all our podcasts and more, hotbuttoncast.com. You can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. And keep an eye on our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at HotButtonCast for when our results cast comes out and also for when our Game of the Year stuff comes out.
Yeah.
And then we will be back in January for your regularly scheduled programming.
Yes. The Game Awards, December 9th, 8 p.m.
Yep.